Welcome back to the Giant Beastcast. Oh my goodness. We continue to do this show. We continue to do this show live. If you're not catching it live, you can at giantbomb.com/chat. We got started on now about Thursday around 1:30ish. But if you want to catch all the fun pre-show action in the chat, you'll want to get there around 1:15. This is April 2nd for April 3rd's show. But we are here live on April 2nd. It is episode, what are we doing? 254 of the Giant Beastcast, the number one podcast in the known universe. And from my basement, I'm joined as always by Alex Navarro.
In spite of all reason, in spite of all good taste, we continue to do this show.
Joined by Abby Russell.
Hello, I thought that you were going to say a poem from memory for a second there, Alex. I don't have any poems prepared.
I've never read a poem.
And from also from my basement, oddly enough, right behind me, Jeff Bacalar. Hey, Jeff.
Hold on, let me just turn around and say, hello, Vinny, tapping you on your shoulder.
It's so weird. So, can I do that? Oh, man. If you're watching live, I'm trying to do a trick. Okay. Oh, there's Jeff. Jeff, put your arm off screen.
Above? Oh, I see.
Jeff, push your arm off screen, your left arm.
I'm doing it.
Okay, that's, yep, this works.
Yep,
Everybody read
here
this.
I go.
What this is not how the frames are ordered in my window at all. So none of this
Who's
makes sense.
everybody?
Uh-huh.
Is someone above or below
No,
me?
I'm below you. If you're watching this live, I'm below you, Abby. I'm looking. Uh-oh. Yeah. There it is. Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
For everybody. You guys are weird.
I got married, by the way. I have a wedding ring now.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're listening to the audio of this, hopefully everything worked. If you're watching the video of this after we're live, hopefully everything worked. It's always a crapshoot, always a gamble, but here we are doing it anyway. I feel like each time I have done a stream or recording here, something has been slightly different, which is always scary, but you never know. Let's get started because there are some games to talk about, and I've got to go take care of the kids in a little while. First, let me start and say this week, everything got really serious with the homeschool stuff. Holy cow. The biggest game I'm playing is now the teachers did the full curriculum stuff, and I think before they were doing the, hey, if you were a substitute teacher that we didn't trust, here's what I'd give you. And now it is full on work. And holy cow, I am probably more stressed out doing all of this stuff than I've ever been for work stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
What platform is that?
This is on the Pearson platform, Pearson educational platform. And it's the hardest part is just the two kids, I think, like, because they're kind of young, kindergarten and second grade, and just having to like be like, 1 second. This thing is this. Max, sit down. Oh my gosh, teachers, everybody knew.
Hard.
Everybody knew. I was gonna say who knew. Everybody knew.
Vinny, have your children reached the stage of their education where playing Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego or Oregon Trail could potentially count toward credits?
I have him read. Max reads like for independent reading. He's like reading Dungeons and Dragons books. Like, okay, so like that kind of, they have their own games that aren't necessarily that, like math games and all that stuff. But like Math I said, Blaster. Yeah,
they play the those fish games. Oh, what were they? You know what I'm talking about? And there's like putt putt.
There's like
those
definitely
are the educational games I played. Putt putt travels through time. Putt putt goes to the dinosaurs or whatever. Putt putt joins the circus.
Putt putt is the fish.
No, the fish is like Pete or something. I can't remember the fish. Freddy Fish. Oh, and there's Pajama Sam. Jan saying in chat. Yeah, a lot of those are the ones I played. Anyway,
this is edutainment that came after my era, which was very much the DOS era of edutainment.
Yeah,
mine, that was like peak. We also had like Math Blasters or something. It was like some kind of math game type to learn.
Blasters.
We had Lemonade Stand and Oregon Trail and some bad typing games. But
Lemonade Stand. I had like is that like a math thing?
What was it called?
Yeah,
it was like Sesame Street branded stuff. We're like, I don't know, fucking Elmo. Not Elmo. He wasn't around then. Was Elmo around then?
Elmo was late 80s, early 90s.
I want to say maybe that's a little past my time.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like Oscar counting like garbage or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
I had both Mario's teaches typing and Mavis Beacon teaches typing, so I really got into learning typing, and yet I still can't type like a fucking home row. Like I can't do it. I've never figured out how to actually do that.
Fine, that doesn't matter.
One thingy typing.
Yeah, I only use my index fingers and thumbs, and I still type
so
like 90 words a minute.
Oh, you hunt? That's called hunting and pecking.
I can't imagine.
I'm the fastest hunter and pecker. Wait.
You're the biggest pecker I know.
Yes, it is true. This man is the biggest pecker.
Nice.
So aside from that stuff, it just has made me very stressed out in a way that like by the time I come downstairs from work, I'm already fried and then kind of jumping onto stuff. So like, just 45 minutes before this, I was deep into the life cycle of a platypus. And
wow.
Did you know the male? I think we talked about this maybe last week because it's been ongoing. Yeah, no nipples on the female, and then the males have spurs that can have venom. This time we did endangerment.
That seems important to know for a young child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question, Vinny. I feel like I do not remember a single thing from school. Not a single damn thing.
That's a lie.
Do you have to also relearn everything? Like, are you relearning it with them basically? Or is it like a thing that's like, oh, I can pretty easily comprehend this because I'm an adult man? Or is it a thing that's like, yeah, I'm figuring this out too?
Both. I mean, not the adult man stuff. There's definitely some stuff I have to be like, give me a second before I tell you how to do this. There's some stuff I remember that's wrong, and that gets a little tough when it's like, this is how I remember to do carrying over. Now. Yeah, they teach differently.
Differently. Yeah.
So some stuff I remember. When I was in school, it was. The world is flat.
You had like an abacus.
We had an abacus.
Right, of course, your basics, all your basics.
You get sick because the spirits in you are angry.
Soap is bad.
Soap bad. Yeah.
I when I hear people like going crazy, like, oh, being home with the kids, like I've kind of been keeping my mouth shut about that just a little bit because I only have one child at the moment, and it is not as bad. I just know it's not. And also my wife is currently out of work with what's going on. And, she's really kind of, taking the heavy load of it during the day. But I'll tell you what, we're still doing a lot of like school lessons. Like they are learning. He came downstairs the other day and was like all uneasy about himself. He's like, I think I can read now. I don't know.
and there's hair in my armpits.
We're like, what do you mean? And he brings Cat in a Hat, and I shit you not, he like brings the book to Stace, and he starts like reading a little bit of the first page. He did it. He like came downstairs. He's like, yeah, I can read now. And he did. He like read a little bit. It was amazing.
I'm just imagining him like the football team from Beetlejuice walking in and being like, Coach, I think we can read now.
I just did your taxes.
People who are watching the video feed, you just mentioned Beetlejuice. This is going to suck for audio only listeners, but I just found all these old school Beetlejuice cards.
Oh, wow.
The cartoon. Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are neat. Jeff Backlund held them up to the camera.
Clean out a closet. These are dope as hell.
I'll say this for maybe one, if you're counting the movies you should not have turned into a children's cartoon, Beetlejuice is at least in the top 5. But of those cartoons, Beetlejuice is probably the best one.
It's so good.
The show was all right.
I had no idea they made it into a cartoon.
Too. It's a lot of fun. There's like new characters in it. It's awesome.
They turned it into Beetlejuice and Lydia are best friends and go on adventures, which is really weird because Beetlejuice tried to turn her into his child bride at one point in the movie.
Yeah,
so that's a little odd.
Weird. But that sounds like a fun romp, though. That sounds fun.
It's more appropriate than, let's say, the RoboCop one, where RoboCop just becomes a cartoon hero as opposed to the robot cop who fucking shoots everyone in the face.
Yeah, they kind of ignore a lot of the moral dilemma stuff from the movies.
There was a Rambo one.
Yeah, there was a sports one with all the athletes, and that was probably the most morally ambiguous one.
You're thinking about the Mr. T and the gymnast one, right?
No, that was a good one. I was thinking of it All Stars, with Wayne Gretzky and was it Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan? No.
Yes. Pro Stars.
Pro
It was like
Stars, yeah.
Bo
Right.
Jackson, right?
Bo Jackson, yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Well, let me talk. No, let me get deep here on a Pro Star game I've been playing. It's a little game called Animal Crossing, and now I know some of you played it, and I'm really enjoying it. I will say the local multiplayer and the fact that you only have one island in the beginning of the game was a problem. So when you play local multiplayer, at the same time, one person is the leader, and then the other person can come into their game, and they kind of warp around to where the leader is, and anything you pick up goes in the shared bin. So anything you pick up off the ground goes in the shared box. You can't do any crafting or anything like that. You just kind of pick stuff up and it goes in the bin, and then the person who's playing gets all the credit and acknowledgments for everything. And that's kind of fine, but in the early game it's such a resource rush that you're like, I need to get all this. I need this flimsy fishing pole to be a real fishing pole. I need all of this stuff that I will admit I was starting to get a bit frustrated and was like, listen, man, we all live on this island, Max. You got to leave some peaches for me, all right? You can't just turn everything in because I need to get some Nook miles myself, all right? So it was a little tough going there. My daughter got bored right away. I kind of suffered through it. Since it was his birthday present, he was able to be the leader.
Is she playing? Is Rocky playing it?
Yeah, she was.
Or was she watching?
No, she was playing. We had 3 people on the
So
island.
how many local multiplayer can you 3 at once? So how hard? Because I have my cousins could not figure out how to get the multiplayer going, and I try to like Google it for them, and I don't know how do you get 2 people on the same island at the same time?
So they all have to become residents of the island, which means they all have to start the game from their profile on the Switch. Once they've started and they have a tent, anybody can go launch the game and go onto their Nook phone and invite somebody from the Nook phone, and it'll tell you, it'll be like invite a resident, and then it'll show you who lived on the island, and you invite them. And then at any point, if you shake the controller, they can take over and be the leader. And then they have all the access. Since it's the same island for everybody, nothing really changes at that point. You just take over being the one who gets all the credit. So now a little bit in the later game, now it doesn't matter as much, because now that we all kind of have good gear, decent gear, we're just trying to pay down our mortgage, we're just living life. Now it's not as big a deal. The only thing that's a little bit of a bummer is the like credit for donations to the museum, which is like, it's kind of fun, but it's fine. Like we're all just.
So they don't. So like if you were playing and you donated a fish, you delete only like how does that work?
So it's since it's one museum, that fish is then donated. You would get no credit for trying to donate.
But it's not
fish.
in your name?
It is in my name.
Because I think when you go in and you look at the fish like swimming around, you can be like donated by Vinny.
It would be donated by me, but like if Max spent the day donating all the stuff on the island, I would have nothing to donate, which just means it's usually just like a Nook Miles thing, or it's just something that is like, oh, I can't get any. He got all these recipes for doing stuff with Tom Nook that I couldn't get because he turned in all the early stuff to get going. So he's got like all these.
The recipes?
Yeah, a lot of the recipes only he has because there were rewards for doing the first time thing, and some of those, and then some other stuff isn't like that. Some other stuff like Gulliver on the beach, who needs you to dig up his communicator stuff, that will happen. Like if you're in a game and with other person and the leader does it and initiates the quest. This is weird. I dug up about 100 communicators as the not leader, and it didn't count towards that quest. And then if you switch leader, I can take that quest on again. So some of that stuff is a little funny. The other very cool thing though, that for me personally, that I realized that I didn't know going into this, and Animal Crossing enthusiasts probably do. I went to my brother's island, which is in the southern hemisphere, and they're just pulling up sharks left and right. And I'm like, where do you get all these sharks? He's like, oh, I think it's because right now they're seasonal in the southern hemisphere. And so then he came to my island and he's like, whoa, a carp. I was like, all right, I guess. But like, so I'm going to have to go spend a little time on his island. And I guess that Nook Miles Pass just gets you to a random place. Is that right?
Yes, it does.
So they're like randomly it's not like random people's islands, they're like randomly generated islands. Usually it's like this, it'll have like a key thing that's like this is the resource of this island. So sometimes like this is a bamboo island, you're gonna get like a ton of bamboo. Sometimes like this is a mountain with like certain streams and like fish are gonna spawn left and right. And other times it's fun things like this is a cache island, all the rocks are cache. And like sometimes it's like tarantula island.
Oh man, getting that tarantula was hard. It took me a while to net that.
What if there was an entire island of them, Vinny? What if there were infinite tarantulas on infinite tarantula island?
I think that I would really wish my slingshot didn't just shoot up. I wish I just pegged those things. A gun. I had to buy Nook Pass just to get the. I think I destroyed all the rocks on my island, unfortunately, by eating peaches and then shoveling before I realized what that was. Yeah, I did that, and then I have to get my rock egg because it's whatever fake Easter they're doing, and so I had to buy a Nook Pass just to go get rock eggs for the island.
I love flying out. I honestly hate the eggs. I hate Easter. Like I'm fine with Easter in real life, but like in this game, I hate that weird bunny and I hate the eggs everywhere. I want my normal resources. I don't like all the egg benefit DIY stuff. It started yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So like every other fish is an egg.
Yeah, I honestly
because that's where eggs live.
The Easter thing would be fine if it were like a couple of days, if it were like 2 or 3 days at most. The problem is they have launched this soon after the game has come out. People are still building like core projects in their towns, and this is messing up that whole flow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate timing. Also, Alex
we'll leave. Okay, he's okay.
It was funny.
Someone tell me you got that.
Did you get
what
that?
Happened?
Did you? Your video hitched.
What we got.
Okay, well.
Your video hitched in a good way.
We have a new emoji for chat, I think.
So
anyway,
I've been very happy with the game so far. I think I'm back and forth on whether I want to share an island with somebody or not. I went to Dan's island and he gave me a bunch of fruit, and then I brought it back and I planted an orchard, and then had to find out that you can't plant stuff within, I thought it was 1 space apart for my old Animal Crossing knowledge, but apparently it's trees are 2 spaces apart. Is that right?
I believe so.
And then
you can't put them like directly next to each other.
I think you have to be able to run between them.
And then I went in to log in the island the next day. So my son plays during the day and I only get on at night if I have time. So then I logged in the next day and saw some like cherry tree. We're a peach island. Saw some cherry trees and little trees next to my son's house. I was like, where'd these come from? And then I look, and he totally dug them up from my orchard and like moved them over to his house. So I gotta build some fences or something. It's gonna get real. Has anybody gotten to the terraforming?
Share that. No. Oh my god, I wanted to bet. So you have to get. I think you have to get like a 5-star island, which takes a long time because you have to get the full 10 villagers to move in. I'm almost there, by the way.
Nice.
And then you have to like.
How dare you?
Get like everything has to look good, and then on top of that you have to like upgrade your stores, which takes a while. You have to spend like a lot of money in your stores for that to happen. Anyway, it takes a while. I expect to not be there for like another couple more weeks. I want to terraform so bad. All my bridges are in stupid places because I just need to terraform.
Yeah, I only have 5 villagers right now. We do have 1 bridge built, and a few other of the major projects are done, but we are nowhere near close enough to getting that terraforming business yet. You know what? That's fine. Like, I want that stuff, but I am not going to compromise the slow pouring pace with which I always attack these games. Like, I will not be peer pressured into doing things faster or harder than I need to. This is my island. Well, actually, no, it's Sam's island. I just live there. At the same time, no one is going to force me to play this game faster than I want to.
Yeah. Also, apparently, everyone in chat is letting me know you don't need a 5-star island. You don't need 10 villagers. You just have to ask Isabel about the eval. So good to know. I'll spam that then.
I think we are getting Isabel today.
Oh, I don't have an Isabel yet. We're still a pretty desolate island. Like, I think I had somebody else. I told 2 people on those Nook Miles trips to come live on my island, but I don't know if they've moved there yet. So hopefully they'll come over. On it. I'm having fun. It's definitely, I think, because of the amount of time I have to play games now, which is usually like an hour and a half at night. It's just like probably the perfect amount of time for an Animal Crossing session. Run around, do all this stuff, and then be like, cool, fished, tried to get a Nook Miles pass, go to a new island, see what's there. I mean, my goal at this point is fill out the museum. That museum is beautiful. That is.
I know. Oh my god,
It's
I like
so
cannot
gorgeous.
go to the museum.
It's. I wish the
know,
load times were a
love
lot
the
shorter
museum.
between the rooms. If the load times were shorter, it would be perfect. But that downstairs with the fossils and then the evolutionary lines that go to all the characters.
So amazing. And then you can like stand in the thing and it's got the little spotlight on you.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
And then you
So
can
well
sit
done.
on the blue circles.
Yeah, it's very cool. The evolutionary lines to all the different animals is a little creepy because then you start thinking of them as actual animals that evolved. And they show like right before you get there, they show the meteor hitting the Earth and that little that ram. And I was like, is this like when this weird mutant evolution happened and we got talking cows? But I like it. It's so the fish part is beautiful. It's a very beautiful museum.
Have any of you
clip documentary about how they designed that museum because I think it's fascinating. I'm sure it is. I don't know. It's just so beautiful.
Have any of you met Harv yet?
Who's that?
Yes, the dog.
The weird hippie dog who invites you to his island to take photographs in a way that is maybe a little bit uncomfortable.
No.
It's like he has like an island that has like a little house with like a photo studio in it, and then it's just a way to use your amiibo cards, and you can like pose your animals however you want.
But also, it's a weird hippie dog basically inviting you to his island so he can take pictures of you.
Sure. I mean, listen, we're all living on like a commune island anyway, eating peaches. Like it's just, it all makes sense.
Yeah. Look, I have a question about the islands and everything. So am I to understand that no matter what island you pick, you're always going to be like stranded by some kind of body of water? Obviously that's what an island is, but I'm talking about internally within an island.
Yes, that almost all of them seem to have at least one river you cannot ford until you get a stick and or a bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the mountains.
Yeah, okay. Well, we could talk about my experience later. I don't want to derail the conversation, but
Do you hate it?
Yeah, you hate it.
I don't hate it. I just like my kids getting a little bored with it. We're just fishing.
Yeah.
We don't even have a fucking shovel. I want a fucking shovel.
Well, it seems. Are you talking to Nook? Because you should be progressing.
What's that?
More.
You don't have a flimsy
all
shovel?
the time.
You should have a shovel. You should have DIY for shovel stuff.
Not yet. We're just like I got a shit ton of miles, got a shit ton of bells. I've been buying things left and right. But
you get the shovel when you donate enough things, show your bugs and stuff to Nook, and then he'll tell you that the curator's gonna come, and then he gives you
coming.
Okay.
I like laid out some space for that.
So once that happens, you will get the shovel recipe.
Yeah, the shovel. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can get fossils, and fossils are fun. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's about. I'll see how long I stick with it. I feel like this is my honeymoon period I always have with Animal Crossing, and but this one seems very good. So I'm going to hopefully stick with this one a little longer. And it's fun to have. In the end, it's fun to have somebody else on the island. It adds like a tension and a weird dynamic that I think is like very interesting. Like I never know what I'm going to see when I jump into the island. There's just wood and stuff just laid out all over the place that I didn't leave there. And like once in a while, there's like a little tulip in front of my house. So like it's nice.
That's very fun.
Yeah. I didn't realize you ripped the heads off the flowers when you run through them, and that was I shouldn't have done that. That was not nice of me.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, what's nice though is in the old games you would completely destroy the flowers when you ran. But now it's just the top, and it's like whatever, they'll grow back, not a huge deal. Whereas before it'd be like, oh shit, I have to replant the flower completely. But it's good for me too because I have a lot of people coming and going in my town. Like my friend Kim, she's not really that into games. She like loves like Sims, or she loves like Roller Coaster Tycoon and like The Sims. So like this is like a newer console game for her. She got a Switch just to play this. So it's interesting that she's like first time playing. But anyway, she came to my town and was like running around. And I would talk about this a little bit on my RE3 stream, but she like ate fruit before she got there and just like accidentally dug up one of my trees and was like running around like popping on my flowers. And I was just like, well, I'm glad that those don't completely get destroyed now.
Yeah.
But it's like fine.
I think I want to say, so my son has the DIY recipe for the wooden posts. I don't have it yet, but the basically the fence. And I wonder if I bet if I plant those or I put those around something, he can't pick them up. I wonder. There's some stuff other players can pick up if you place it, and there's other things that they cannot. So I wonder if I can I can't wait to start quarantining, like not quarantine, bad use of the word, but like make like a big dividing line down the middle of the island. And my poor daughter, who got bored of the game after about the first day, just has a tent on the beach and a blinking mail thing that like it's just been there the whole time. So we've all got houses now. She has this tent that is just there. Which is she's going to be the only one to survive this island war once the two sides start fighting over each other.
She's just gonna start renting that out as an Airbnb.
But yeah, I like it. The other thing I am liking more is Doom. I think as the mechanics become a little more second nature and the power-ups make you a little more powerful, I am starting to come around on it. I think just the curve on it's too steep. I wouldn't even say learning curve. I would just say all the curves are just...
I think the fun curve just doesn't really hit until too...
until too far in. And I wind up like remapping the mouse to play it a little bit more how I'm doing it, and there's a lot of switching, that game has a built-in switching between all the different types of things you have to do to replenish resources. But I still, at its core, I still really like those challenge rooms. So I like when there's just a hardcore puzzle, that like combat puzzle that you have to figure out and I can just throw my head against for a while. Coming around on it. I'm definitely warming up to it. I was pretty cool on it to begin with. And also I just kind of gave up on expecting a real good narrative or the same kind of story stuff. And is just enjoying the puzzle stuff. Man, there was some combat puzzle I was doing the other day. Took me like 6 tries and they were pretty long, but they're fun. What else have I been playing? More Red Dead Online, just going through that. So it's a nice, quiet, relaxing time in the Red Dead Online, doing the bounties. And I think that might be it.
Now there's one that you and I have been playing a little bit of, Vinny.
GTFO.
GTFO.
Yeah.
I would say get this fuck on.
Oh, yeah. You and I have been doing that. Yeah, we have. The it's just GTFO. It is a game where 4 people play together cooperatively to take on. They look like clickers from Last of Us. They're very much of the clicker style aliens in a mine.
They're like clickers if they were wearing really weird wet bio diapers. Like they are disgusting looking.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. And then you're in a mine, and it's pretty hardcore. It's like it's a tough game. It's mostly I don't know. I was just gonna say it's a stealth game, but on her last run, we kind of went against the stealth grain and kind of won. You have very limited ammo. You kind of have to use your flashlight sparingly because they'll swarm you. These aliens are basically all kind of quiet until you set one off, and then you get swarmed by these aliens. And it's kind of a mix between Aliens and Last of Us style aliens. Aliens the movie, where like very quiet. Get closer, and then things just start pouring out at you as you secure rooms and doors and stuff like that. It's fairly unique, I'd say, because it kind of mixes Left 4 Dead zombie mechanics, but in these tighter, more controlled spaces with very more high tech stuff. Like you can access a terminal to ping where power ups are and resources. It's neat. I had fun with it.
Brad was very excited about the terminals. He could not wait to start just using like DOS prompts and stuff in the terminals to hack stuff.
Yeah.
But this is in early access. It's from some of the ex people that made Payday, I believe, the original Payday. And so the version, we just did a stream yesterday of it. They just did a big update where they totally redid, I think, all the in-game maps that were there before and added some new stuff as well. So we had been playing, and we'd been pretty much only been playing the first map because none of us had gotten around to actually beating the first map. But then we played the new map, and it is actually very different in terms of layout and design. And then, yes, as Vinny said, we were playing it stealthy. We were trying to play it the correct way, and we're getting reasonably far, but not beating it. And then we just threw caution to the wind and played like complete assholes, and somehow we managed to win that one.
Which was hey, go aggressive. We made our way out. I'd say that the thing that is most impressive about it is probably the atmosphere It's really it really hits its numbers when it is trying to build this tense, very scary underground environment that you have to escape out of. I look forward to trying some more if we do it again. Alex, anything you want to bring up that I haven't covered yet?
Yeah, there's one other game I've been playing this week that just came out. It's one that I kickstarted many years ago and has been in development for a long time. How long, you might ask? Well, the first version of it I ever played at a PAX was on a PlayStation mobile device.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, in 6 years in the making, Treachery in Beatdown City is finally out on PC and Switch as of this week. So this is a beat 'em up RPG. It is a game where you are controlling 3 different characters who are sort of in the vein of other like Double Dragon, Streets of Rage type characters. One is the daughter of the inept police chief of the fake New York in the game. One is a retired pro wrestler who now runs a community center. And one is a very nerdy dude who is very good at kickboxing. And so as you kind of move through an overworld map that kind of looks like, you're just moving from dot to dot. And every time you hit a dot that has an enemy on it, you were put into the screen that kind of looks like an old Double Dragon, like, hey, here's the background of like some city buildings. And then you and another guy are fighting, or multiple guys are fighting. But when you engage in combat, so there are very basic attacks you can do in real time, which are just like punches. But what you actually really want to be doing is building up these fight points and these action points over time, which is sort of refill as you go. And that puts you into, I wouldn't call it turn-based exactly, because it's not just like, hey, you take a turn and they take a turn. But when you engage in a combat, like we hit the combat button, basically you are selecting from a menu like you would in an RPG, like different attacks, which all cost different amounts of fight points. And you're trying to string together combos using the amount of points that you have and the number of actions that you have to try and take guys out as fast as you can. And so this is a game that's been in development for a long time. And in a lot of the demos I've played of it, like I always saw a promise there, but it's a little hard to just kind of jump into when there's no like ramp up, no progression.
Sure.
Playing it from the start and just kind of getting into the flow of it from the start, I have actually been having a lot of fun playing this. It is the difficulty, I think, ramps up in a smart way. The drip feed of new moves and abilities for each character, I think, is pretty well done. The style of it is very much that like Final Fight, Streets of Rage style, like, static cutscenes where characters are sort of yelling and they're all kind of like grotesque looking. But if imagine this instead of like old style 90s street punks and whatever, like the usual baddies in this, imagine if it was all gentrifiers of New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely like some guys that look like, sort of generic, like tough guy, bad guys. But then there are also a lot of characters that just seem like the sort of people that you would find annoying on the streets of New York in the modern era.
Like people making artisanal cheeses, or like what are we talking here?
Let me put it this way. There's one enemy that is just a thoughtless biker that just goes back and forth between the screen, and you just have to fight them as they keep biking back and forth and getting in your way.
Oh, like not intentionally malicious, just on their city bike, not paying attention.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's a lot, like the humor, it's not 100%, like some of the parodies are maybe a little bit ham-fisted.
Do people just
it's
like
funny,
like want you to try their craft beer? Like they just kind of keep running up to you?
No one has offered me a craft beer yet, but I will say the second boss I fought, and I assume this is because it was probably like a Kickstarter reward or something. The second boss I fought was a guy who was just being a little bit condescending and dickish, and I thought he looked really familiar. And then when I fought him afterwards, I realized his name is Regopoulos. It's Alex Regopoulos of Harmonix is the second boss in that game.
Wait, why?
Because I don't know, he's just like an idiot tourist who's just walking around and just like bothering people, and then he hits you with drumsticks. It's fucking weird, man. It's so weird, but it's kind of it's. I think it's really well done, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. It has a tone and a style that I feel like a lot of modern attempts at beat 'em ups have not really nailed. Like Sean, who is the creator of this game, is a beat 'em up like aficionado, like borderline a historian. So like he really loves these games, and I think he has kind of nailed making a game like that in the modern era. I feel like it's a really neat novel spin on it.
Treachery.
What's it called again?
Treachery in Beatdown City.
Treachery in Beatdown City on Switch and on PC right now.
Interesting. Okay. Anything else, Alex?
That has been it so far.
Abby Russell, I know we talked. Oh, I was gonna say we talked Animal Crossing, but Bacalar, we got to become friends. Actually, both of you, Alex and Abby, I need friend codes for now. But
I would love that.
yeah, Bacalar, I found a hockey outfit that I wanted to mail to you if I could in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, mail it to me.
I don't think we're Switch friends, so we'll have to figure that out.
After this,
It's a lot
let's
like
all
real
take
life.
notes. I'm gonna put it into Slack.
Okay, I think I can mail clothes, right? You can't mail food.
Yes, you can.
You can mail clothes. I don't know if you can. I think you can to anyone on your friends list, but it might be only people you've interacted with in the game first. I'm not sure.
I think it's Devil's colors too, Jeff. I think it's black and red, the hocky outfit. So
all right, now don't get me excited.
All right, Abby, what you got going on?
I have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, of course. Really enjoying it. I have slowed a little bit in the sense of like, well, I think I did all the grinding I could really do, and now I'm just like, it's in the routine of like, gotta check in every day, but don't necessarily need to play it all day, which has been good.
Yeah.
Also still been playing Ring Fit Adventure. They did update it recently, so they added like a rhythm mode, like a music mode. I didn't love it because have y'all all played Ring Fit Adventure?
I have, though I've fallen off quite a bit as my time has disappeared.
Vinny,
I know,
back into it.
I know.
Anyway,
Can you tell?
But like Shield, you gotta like put it's a ring, it's a Pilates ring that you squeeze, and you have to put it against your stomach for like ab stuff. So I only did one song, and they did have a Splatoon song. So I did a Splatoon song for the new rhythm thing, and I chose I think it was like abs. It was like the core workout. It was like legs or abs. So I did abs, and I had to like hold the ring on my stomach and then like lean back and forth and then like squat, and it was just like rough on my stomach, like not in the sense it was rough on my abs, it was just rough on my stomach to like hold it there the whole time and like be doing all this other shit. So I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't find it very fun, and I found it hard because it's like a bunch of like circles coming at you. I found it hard to know when they were like hitting the plane of when I should be hitting them, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Versus just having something roll up and like hit a line or something. So I didn't love it. People seem to be excited for it. I don't know. I only played one song. Maybe I started with like a really hard song. I started with the Splatoon song, but it didn't do it for me, and I like the regular Ring Fit, but the Ring Fit I think that these were updated with the update, just some quality of life stuff that I was really pleased with. Some of my complaints when I was first playing, like now there was an option that I could go in and be like, okay, because sometimes you have an exercise you're doing, and like the whole time you do exercises to fight these little bosses and like big bosses sometimes. So like sometimes you'll not finish your exercise because the boss died too. But if you're doing something that has like, okay, we're doing it for the left arm and now the right arm, it's like, well, I only got my right arm in because I killed the boss before I could do the left arm. They've put something in where you can be like, I want to finish both sides of the rep before even if the boss is going to die, which I was like really glad to see that they implemented stuff like that. And there's like a few other quality of life things you can change in the settings. Anyway, still enjoying it.
Did you try that finish before the enemy dies thing? Does it just have you do it against like sometimes they fly off the screen when you kill them? Does it just show you doing it to nothing?
No, it'll stay there, and you know how there's usually like a health bar at the top, and you can see it going down.
Yeah.
And like you'll have the hit points. So like when it's at the red, it'll go to nothing, put a little bit back, nothing, a little bit back, nothing, a little bit back.
Oh, okay.
Fun.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It was like a thing I probably wouldn't notice if I wasn't looking out for it. It would just be like, oh, last hit killed the guy. But I was pleased to see some of those changes, and I'm far enough along in Ring Fit now that there's like a skill tree, which is a fascinating thing for a workout game. But still really enjoying it. I also started playing Resident Evil 3 this morning.
Oh, I played that for the quick look. I forgot all about that one. Yeah.
So I've only played a couple hours of it. I played it this morning on a stream. It's not up yet. I have to process it after this, but so far I'm enjoying it. It looks great. It feels great. I mean, it feels very much like the Resident Evil 2 remake, which I'm very pleased about. It has the same map system, which is really nice and really helpful. It looks really great, which I'm glad to see. The one thing is, so in Resident Evil 2, Mr. X comes in like maybe halfway, and then he's like in for a while. I'm like, that it sort of changes the game a bit, but like for the most part, it's fine. It adds some tension. There's a few parts that are maybe annoying being chased, but like fine. But like they seem to have a Mr. X equivalent that comes in immediately and also has like this weird fleshy grappling hook where he'll just like jump in front of you.
It's got a nice little tentacle.
annoying.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like,
that's what this game is. This whole game is that guy.
Nemesis.
really? Okay,
Yeah,
I've never played
Nemesis
before.
is
I've
the
played through the whole
guy.
thing. Well, I hate him, and
Yeah, he sucks.
And
seen-
I'm worried. I'm a little worried for that. But because otherwise, I loved everything else. I love the puzzles. I love running through. But
I
like,
think it's the worst part of the game.
Sucks, and he's like everywhere. And
What'd
he's
you
hard
think
to
of
avoid.
what'd you think, speaking of things that are just bad in the game, what'd you think of Carlos's hair?
Oh, was that one guy with the
He just moves so much.
Looks like he's got like
in the wind.
he looks like a fry kid is on his head or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm honestly a big fan of the bad hair. I also can't tell what year was this game made originally. Do we know?
When was it?
Yeah.
99?
Really?
His hair looks like, you know, the material that like Muppets are made of.
Yes.
It's like very flowy and super sensitive to wind. It looked like that. It's just like
his hair looks like, you know, those dogs where like their hair goes in their eyes.
yeah, like a sheepdog. Yeah.
Okay.
Abby, it was 1999. That was when this game originally came out.
Wow, that's when I finished kindergarten.
Okay, we don't have to talk about that.
All right, I'm gonna go jump out of a window.
I feel like I don't remember most of this game, like little pieces here and there. But Abby, what do you think? I've played like maybe 3 to 4 hours of it so far.
I played about 2 hours. I got to the part where I just started up all the generators. And like,
oh, you did that part.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so
The
bummed I
spider
missed
part?
this stream because that is the grossest thing in the world.
It's
It
so
was-
gross.
oh my god, it's awful. I'm upset by it.
I gotta
still
watch
did
it. Yeah, I wish I was there for it because
Yeah, I was playing that in front of my wife. She was pissed.
I'm with how they not happy about it, and also I hated it. It's gross, and then also just like, come on.
Yeah. I definitely can tell already that I'm not enjoying it so far as much as RE2. But I'm still loving, I just love the RE like template. And if you give me a game that's that thing, incredible annoyances aside, like, oh my God, the fact that I still cannot use an item if there's not like, okay, so your inventory is filled up and then you find a first aid spray, you can't fucking use it. What, like, how? Just fix that. Don't right? Like, what is going on? How is that still a thing? I think they made it a little better where you could combine stuff now, like even if there's no room in your inventory.
Yeah, you can combine it while it's hovering.
All I'm imagining is Jill with her bag filled and she's holding a red herb and she's like dying. Her pulse is in the red and she's just like, I can't do this. I simply can't use this. I'm holding this thing. All I needed is I don't know. How do they even use the herb? What do they do? Do they just like?
I feel like they smoke it. It's on rolling papers, basically. Like it's all ground up and on like a piece of paper. Like they smoke it. Let's be real.
Has anyone ever really asked the question of what are we exactly how are we ingesting the herbs?
They can't smoke it because I feel like you'd have to find an item to light it if they were smoking it.
Yeah,
So
you need some time for that to take effect.
Yeah.
You just like put it in your pants, I think, or something. Anyway,
they're definitely eating it because
nice tea out of it.
They're definitely eating it because that generator part clearly states that's what makes the bugs come out. So gross.
That bug part's fucking terrible.
I hate bugs. I hated it so much. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. I like the loop. I like the puzzles. I like the loop of Resident Evil. I don't like. We've been calling him Mr. M because he looks sort of like a big mummy. I don't like him because like Mr. X was fine and it wasn't too much of him. But I think the difference between like this and Resident Evil 2 that I'm feeling is I feel like Resident Evil 2 not only is it in sort of like a better contained space. I don't even mind that this one's in like a set piece outdoors. It's just like I feel like it was a slower buildup in a way that was kind of nicer, whereas this one, it was like you go in and then it's like you're thrown into a wall and then like you think you're going to get to a door and then like you're thrown into a different wall and you think you're going to get to a door and then like there's an explosion, then you think you're going to get to a door and then like the floor falls out of you. And it's like 20 minutes of that before you even start playing. And it's like fine, but it's just, it doesn't feel like it builds as nicely.
Abby, have you seen any of the Resident Evil movies?
I don't think so. I mean, why would I?
Well, that's fair. If you do play more of this game, and if at some point you just decide you were completely fed up with Nemesis, you should watch the second Resident Evil movie. Not because it's good; it's actually awful.
Okay.
But they do Nemesis so fucking dirty in that movie. He is the most rubbery, fucking fake-looking Nemesis. It is so bad that at least you will have something you can point at and laugh at about regarding Nemesis, because him in that game is obnoxious as hell.
Okay, well, I have that to look for. Yes,
I think the Nemesis parts are the worst parts of the game so far. They're very awkward and clunky. I do like how Jill has this dodge ability that I've only timed it right like twice, but you can sort of evade, but you can evade in a way that like makes you temporarily invincible, I think.
So yes, but I think my issue is most of the time he's chasing me, so I don't really see when he's about to swing. I'm just like mashing dodge and like hoping I dodge it.
I know he's like the biggest part of that game, but he's like the worst part of that game so far. It's just, it kind of stinks.
So the dodge move, I just found this out. You know, you get that perfect dodge from the zombies sometimes if you time it right. If you do it again or you hit the trigger, I have to look this up again. If you do it again, you'll automatically get a counter. Which you do the perfect job, and then she'll apparently fire the weapon right at the zombie or stab the zombie as a counter move if you did that. Yeah, I haven't executed it myself. Somebody sent me a link after I did the quick look, which was like, "Hey, how about this?" And I was like, "Well, how about this?" Like, did I miss a note written somewhere? That wasn't in like yellow text or whatever on a note. But yeah, that I don't mind the Nemesis stuff quite yet, because he seems to go away for periods of a time, and then
it goes away at the weirdest moments when like, you're like, no, just follow me. Just follow me.
Or like I went through this little tin door and like now you can't get through here, but you can walk through a brick wall. But whatever, like as long as he goes away. But I have also heard he gets very annoying. So that's
he's annoying. With him that I was finding this true as someone who hasn't played the game before is like there were times when it's like I can't tell if this is like a scripted instance where he is jumping in front of me where it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to go through that doorway. So I turn and find a different one where it's like, no, he's jumping in front of me. I have to wait for him to move out of the way and like dodge a bunch of shit before I can go through the door I was meant to go through. Like that's where I was getting frustrated because it's like my instinct was like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to go there. Like it seemed like the game was telling me like, this is not where you should be going. But it actually was. So that's where I was getting most frustrated with it, was when he would just literally like jump in front of me. He would use this freaking flesh whip and get in front of me. And it was just, not a fan.
Yeah. I never want to hear the term flesh whip again. Never, ever.
I kind of like that a little bit. I'm gonna let that one marinate for a second. But I think I have two things I just want to bring up before we move on, if we are moving on. Going back to the evading animation, I find it also annoying how like once that animation completes, you basically get like stopped. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Which is just like that's the opposite of evading. I'm trying to actively evade. Like I wouldn't just stop. That's silly. Like a psychopath this morning when the streaming embargo was up. I was streaming it on like one of our sister channels for CNET, and I was playing it, and I missed. I don't know how I did this. I missed the goddamn rocket launcher in the sewer. You probably played this part, right, Vinny?
Well, you're pointing at me, but I'm down here. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. And I don't know why. I just missed it. It was sitting there right on that table, and I just overlooked it.
Those giant frogs were probably a pain in the butt.
Well, so yeah, but they take 5 shotgun blasts.
All they take is what are you rolling with down there?
That's all it takes, huh?
Or 38 pistols. And so whatever, I make it through, and I finally get to the Nemesis battle on the roof without a rocket launcher. I'm finding all this ammo, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why is this game doing this to me? And then people in the chat were like, yeah, you should totally have a rocket launcher by now. And I'm like, cool. So get this, I'm up on the roof with this guy. We're going back and forth. I'm scouring the entire roof because I'm like, oh, maybe the game realizes I need more ammo and maybe it'll just like spawn a couple shotgun shells. Doesn't happen. I finally resort to the fact that like I'm going to have to try and stab this dumbass thing, and I did it.
You beat him stabbing his tank.
It's online. I'll clip it out. It's pretty great because I knew I had him right on the ropes, and I knew he was like maybe one or two, and I just go up to him and I'm like, bah, 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 bah.
Okay, then, good for you.
And then he dies. It's a pretty good scene.
All right.
Hey, I've been streaming for a week, but I feel like I'm already a pro. So
pro streamer, pro strats.
You're basically ninja.
Yeah, I'm a stream ninja.
So for people watching Stream
I
Ninja,
get it.
it's good. Abby, you're gonna continue playing.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe not the 11 a.m. time. Maybe we'll find a time that works for everybody. I'd love to have you on it, Vinny.
I want to
Love have,
watch it. 11 a.m. is
it.
phonics and math, so I'll just I'll put the kids on. The kids are now doing a Zoom call, so I'll just pretend they're doing a Zoom call with the teacher and just put your stream on. Well, because that's how the teachers are doing the classroom stuff.
With the teacher. Okay.
Yeah, with the teacher. Okay. No, with me.
Like,
not in the house. No,
I'm in the basement. They're upstairs. So Abby, anything else?
That's pretty much it. I want to get back into Oberdin, but I feel like that's a game I want to sit there and like probably play through in like a sitting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I like might save it for the weekend or something.
Okay. Jeff McAlar,
Hey,
what's up?
so Resident Evil 3, it's I'm kind of lukewarm on it. You want to talk more about Resident Evil 3?
I think we talked a decent amount about it.
I'm kidding.
Okay, all right.
So what else have I been doing? I've been playing some more Animal Crossing, like we said. I've been playing more Headquarters, and they changed like very minor things. They raised the price of certain things, like a loadout's more expensive now. A loadout drop. I mean, and I'll say this. I have like one or two friends in my crew that love Warzone and won't shut up about Warzone. And they're always like, we got a Warzone. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but it is only 3 at a time. So I have been like sneaking back, especially when we have more than 3 of us online at the same time, sneaking back into HQ. And let me tell you something. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. HQ is superior to than Warzone. Superior to Warzone. It is.
Okay.
I played Warzone, but
like, look, facts are facts. You can't deny facts. And I just think that there's just more fun. The moment to moment action for me. And don't get me wrong, like I've made it real far in Warzone. I've had a lot of great matches. I don't know. I just find it. Maybe it's the camaraderie. Maybe it's the more bigger team based strategy kind of stuff. But I am finding myself with the itch to do HQ over Warzone lately. That's not to say I won't play any more Warzone, but that's where I'm at right now. Maybe if there's a new map one day, maybe if they change some things around. I don't think they're going to do more than 3Zs though, right? They're not going to do more than 3Zs.
Maybe no, I don't know.
Like 4Zs, maybe 4Zs. I feel like once you get to 5Zs, you're it's a totally different game.
Once
you're
at 5Zs, you're basically just team deathmatch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The number of people who can play.
Yeah.
Do you only play HQ? Do you not play the like other stuff? Because I love like Kill Confirmed. That's my
I like Kill Confirmed.
I also love Gun Game a lot. I was playing a lot of Gun Game for a while.
That's a lot of fun.
I think that's the problem with Warzone for me. One, I'm not a huge battle royale person, but also I like the quickness of something like a Gun Game, and I like the loop of like dying, staying up, staying up.
Yes, I like the rinse and repeat, sort of cycle of that. Warzone does have amazing moments. I'm not trying to write it off. I'm not trying to be a snarky prick. I'm just saying it's, there's just the loop is just too much. If I have 90 minutes to play at night, I want to get in like 10 matches of HQ. Warzone, maybe you're looking at, only a handful. So it's, I'll say this, that has gotten me more acclimated with sniping, which is something I just don't do. So if there's any takeaway, a positive takeaway, it's I'm improving that part of my game. But overall, that's what I got to say about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing.
There is one thing I would love for you to talk about.
Oh, you hold your horses there, bud. I've been playing Human Fall Flat.
The new stuff? There's new stuff, right?
No, the old stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So that game came out in like a weird way. The before I'd started playing it again just recently with my son, who loves it because he's like a ragdoll junkie. They were like, it was like very random puzzles. There wasn't more of like a narrative, like sweeping kind of story, which I feel there most certainly is now, where it's like you just fall into a new world, find your way out, fall into a new world. I feel like the first time I played it was much more abstract. This is fun. I think it's really good. I think the controls are good enough.
They're very
Have you
gang
guys had a
beasts.
lot of experience with it?
Yeah. I played through the whole thing with Max a while ago, so I wonder which version I played.
We did like the castle, we did the construction area, we did like the fantasy land. So it's fun. We're having fun with it. It's a good laugh. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. He plays Dangerous Driving so much, and I heard they're just coming out with a sequel to that game.
I believe they are.
Which is interesting. I was surprised that they're gonna make another one of those, but maybe it did well. I don't know. And yeah, off the top of my head, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm gonna finish RE3. I feel like I'm already pot committed to that game. So
nice.
We'll
You and me
see it
both.
through. Yeah, right. Well, let's just knock it out.
I mean, it seems like you're much farther along than I am, but
Backlar, talk about your thing.
Oh, the pinball stream.
Yeah.
You did it.
I did it. I did it.
You did it.
I thought it went pretty well.
What's your setup? How'd you get the glass out of the machine?
So I didn't.
I'm just kidding.
Because here's the thing: a lot of people who stream pinball remove the glass.
I remember you saying that.
To reduce glare. But the Wonka table that I have on loaner here is it's got this thing called Invisiglass, and it sounds like such a shitty gimmick, but you cannot even see that it's there. It is wildly invisible. So it just made for a perfect sort of playfield shot. And yeah, it took me like maybe half a day setting up all the graphics and everything that I wanted to do. There's a couple people who have been doing pinball streaming for a while. This guy Jack, he goes by Dead Flip. He's like the guy, and I kind of watch a lot of the things he does. I've talked to him offline a little bit, and yeah, it's like it came together, and I was super super happy with how it shook out.
And how many cameras?
And thanks to everyone who checked it out. What's that?
No disrespect to your friend Dead Flip, but I will say that if I were writing a screenplay and I had to create a character who was a pinball streamer in my comedy film, Dead Flip is probably the name I would have given him.
That's fair. I mean, that's
fair. My pinball team is the Ragdoll Junkies. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Oof, I think I might have to copyright that a little bit.
So what was your setup? Because I was watching and being like, man, this looks really good. Good on you. You did.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get to flex my production muscle as much as I used to back in the day because I have people do it for me. But now we're all in this situation, and it seemed like what other time is going to be better than the one we're currently finding ourselves in to try this out. And I've, over the years between my wife and I, we both did a lot of production, in college and right after college. We have all this stuff in the house. It's in the goddamn basement. It's collecting dust. So broke out a bunch of tripods, old camcorders. And, if something's younger than 10 years old, it's probably going to have the interface that you need to hook it up to a PC.
So so you had 3 cameras, and then how were you getting the audio in? What was your main source for the Wonka audio?
So the good thing about the Wonka table is that it does have a headphone jack in it.
Okay.
So you can get clean audio out of that. So that's why I was wearing headphones when I was streaming. I split that.
Right.
One into the headphone, one into the input of the laptop I was using.
Okay.
And then I was able to make it all happen. And thanks to Main Gear hooked me up. The laptop, the work laptop I have got lost in the mail.
I remember. I think we talked about that last week. Yeah.
They're in Jersey, and I was like, "Yo, can you guys just give me one I can borrow for a little bit?" And they're like, "Sure." So that was super helpful. So thanks to those guys. But yeah, so I put that into the input, split it out so we could hear the game, and then I used this mic for the main voice mic, and then I had this webcam for the player shot, an old camcorder for the playfield, which did 720 60 perfectly well, and then I was using an iPhone through USB-C to capture the direct shot of the LCD screen, which is like this 28-inch LCD TV inside the back glass of the pinball machine.
And how'd you mount that iPhone? Like, where was that?
Oh,
where
just
was
like
it?
I had like a cheap little iPhone like grip that I just rigged to one of the tripods I was using. Like I had a light hanging over it, and the thing's super light. So I just like attached like a little clip.
Super cool.
I'm telling you, I have a closet that's like a mini B&H in my house. That's just like, oh, I have this. It's kind of like if you look behind you, you got a lot of
Yeah, that's all production gear. That's you wouldn't know it, but that's storm. That's
those little
stormtroopers.
tiny drawers.
yeah. There. Oh no, that one. Yeah, right there. It's very cool, and that's on your Twitch channel.
Yeah,
if people want to see it. Yeah.
So I wasn't planning on having like my family on there, but they seemed like they wanted to do it. They didn't just want to watch me. So everyone's on it. I thought that went over really well. The Wonka game is a very low scoring game compared to other pinball machines. When you play pinball machines, you're used to like, oh, I got 80 million already. Like, these Wonka machines, the Jersey Jack stuff is always very low scoring. It doesn't change anything. It's just how they count points, right? The highest score this kid ever did was like maybe 900K. On ball one of this stream, he broke 1 million.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
On the first ball. And like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. People in the chat who like knew that were familiar with the machine were just like, what is this kid doing?
He's a wizard. Now? He's a wizard, Harry.
Wild to watch it happen. It was really cool. I'm so glad.
Is he a pinball wizard?
I think he's definitely like a Padawan. I feel like he's getting there. He's definitely an apprentice.
You mean a Padawan?
He's a Oh shit! Well,
oh, no.
That's my time, everyone.
Oh, no. Yeehaw, as they say. That's very cool.
Yeah,
are you gonna do more?
I'm gonna try and do it once a weekend. I thought like an hour was the perfect amount of time. It kind of flew by, but I also think we got in enough. I also don't know how many people can just watch pinball or like watch someone play pinball. I realized there's probably
the thing I have realized during all of this, people will watch anything.
I mean,
literally anything you give them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I love pinball. I can only watch it for maybe, 15, 20 minutes at a time. But
I think people either like watching something that you are really excited and love, or you do something you really hate and it's awful for you. Those are the things people enjoy watching.
Yeah, I feel like that checks out. I am gonna stream. At one point I'll move away from Wonka and do the Funhouse machine because it is haunted.
Yeah,
and it's I just don't want it to get a little jealous. Like we already know it craves blood, it craves all these things, but like jealousy is a thing I just don't want to invoke in it. So we'll make that work.
You're gonna walk into your pinball room and see like the table leg broken or something on the Wonka machine. Just I
like pull out the plug and he's still talking to me. And like I'm just like, okay,
play me. Great. Backlog.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think it's good. There's some breaking news, but we'll get to the breaking news, won't we?
Should we go break some news?
Yeah, let's break it.
All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll break some news. Hang out. We'll be back if you're watching us live in just a few minutes. Here comes the mute. Wait, hold on. Let me think for a second.
You're good.
Let me think. Here comes the music. All right, we are back. How's everybody doing?
Oh, amazing.
Good little break. Good. Yeah. Thumbs up. Everybody says thumbs up. Oof. Gotta stretch the back out. That's without that ring fit. My back.
Man.
Not getting my Pilates.
You guys been working out a lot or what?
Not since not in the last week.
Truly, I am going to be so fit when I come back in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of prison push-ups.
No.
Yeah.
I ate a couple bag of Doritos. That's it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Same thing.
For boy, I don't know where he gets it but for his birthday, my son just wanted Doritos, potato chips, mac and cheese, and hamburgers and hot dogs. And
that's a lot.
And I said,
that's like 4 different meals.
I said, better make it 2.
Nice.
So it was actually a really busy birthday because people would just come by and drop, like family who lived nearby would just come by and drop a cake off on the porch and then like honk the horn and drive away. So it's probably one of the busier birthdays we've had, and we had like 4 cakes in the fridge because people just want to do something. So we're just working through our way through cakes at this point. Yeah. So I've gained 100 pounds.
It's nice that you live in a place that has cars.
Yes.
Like the idea is it's so foreign to me, the idea that like people can go for a drive. Yeah. Like I am very contained in like the 2 miles around my apartment.
Yeah, we haven't taken our car out, but other people certainly have. Actually, my wife took the car out when she had to do a food run, so we've taken it out.
Yeah, you should like also start your car. Maybe.
Yeah.
Every
This is
now and
actually
then.
just reminded me. I really need to go start my car because I have not
Yeah.
driven it in about 2.5 weeks. So I probably need to start that thing up.
Go get your.
I feel like
have you checked in on it? Make
once
sure it's
every
there.
3 weeks is probably good, but yeah.
I'm going to say no. I have not checked in on it in a while. It's usually fine, but you
Okay.
never know. I've definitely had some people decide to sideswipe my car while it was parked when I hadn't checked on it in a while. So,
Mm.
And they suspended alternate side of the street parking, I assume, for you, right?
not that they've told me.
Oh.
Yeah,
but
I can't see
I
that.
I live in
I
that
doubt it.
special zone where there's a certain block radius where there is no street cleaning. So if I can find a spot on one of those streets, I'm fine for the duration.
Okay.
But they have not made any specific announcements about that, I don't think.
All right, let's get on to the news. Who's got the squeaky chair? Who's the
That's
squeaker?
me. I'm sorry.
Who's the squeaker? Oh yeah. I'm
You
gonna
just
get
got to say those
Oh,
are
yeah.
squeaks and not fats.
you gotta
So,
get some of that 3
Well,
in
hey,
1
maybe
oil.
it's both. I don't know.
squeak
Huh?
fats.
You gotta get some of that 3-in-1 oil and just that. Oh yeah.
Well, send me some. I can't go to the store.
No,
Yeah,
that's
fair.
good though. Oh man, that's a good squeak. It's got that really like
Sounds like
slow.
my front door.
Yeah, sounds like
It's
a
a real
whiny
classic.
dog. All right.
It's a real
Anyway,
squeaker.
we got the news. Alex,
The
you pulled
news.
the news. Alex, you pulled some news here. Let's get started
did.
with that. Kick us off.
All right, so the first one, I think maybe the biggest thing that sort of was kicking around this past week is this. I'm going to call it a rumor for now because Nintendo hasn't confirmed it, but it does seem like it is at least somewhat likely to happen. There is some talk that there will be as part of Mario's 35th anniversary this year.
Happy birthday.
They
bud.
will be re-releasing a whole bunch of old Mario games to the Nintendo Switch. This comes from British gaming site Video Games Chronicle, who I believe have been right about some of their Nintendo reporting and the stuff that hasn't been officially announced recently. But it sounds like Eurogamer also has maybe done some reporting and confirmed this as well. But so it's going to be, I think, a bunch of 3D Mario games. It sounds like Mario 64 is in the cards, potentially Sunshine, potentially Mario Galaxy, Super
Oh
Mario
my
3D
God.
World, I think I've
Oh
seen
my
this kicking
God.
around. So again, none of this is confirmed,
Yeah.
but damn it, I want this.
Yeah,
I
want
would
this
love
too.
this.
Oh my god.
Very excited. I hope they release all of these. I would love all of them on Switch. Give me Mario Galaxy especially.
It's a very
I
good
would also
game.
I loved 3D World. I loved 3D Land. I would love to play more of them.
Yeah,
Totally.
this makes. I mean, I know Nintendo hasn't confirmed this. I wouldn't expect them to without making their own announcement about it. But it just seems like so in their wheelhouse to do a thing like this. Right, like this is the thing that makes that we all have said this a million times before. Like, oh, won't it be great when we eventually just get the Galaxy games on Switch and
Yes.
eventually get all these things in HD on
Yeah.
Switch and just call it a day? Like, and
Can
yeah,
you-
and you know what? Even before E3 got canceled, we were all saying like, oh, what are they going to have as a theme this year? Remember, we were like, oh, what are they going to do? And it turns out the reporting
Mario.
here from all these sites say that they were going to do this like 35th anniversary Mario thing. What are you
Mhm.
making these hand gestures for, Ben?
Mario. I'm with it. I think Galaxy especially could make its way to the Switch very
Mhm.
easily with the Wii motion controls and the Switch
Yeah.
Joy-Cons.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah, please ask me. I
That's
know everything.
will purely be hypothetical. Do
Mm.
you think that if they do release something like Mario 64 again, it'll be like an HD remake of it? Because that would be amazing. Because I feel like every time because they release that game a billion times and other shit. Well, at least
Mm.
onto the DS or whatever. But
I
like
bet-
I feel like if that was an HD, oh boy, that
I
would
bet
be
it-
cool.
I don't think it'll be in full HD. I bet it will be a clean looking version of that game, but it
No,
will
I
not be
want
a
it to
full HD
be-
update.
Smooth textures. I mean, in Odyssey, they have spoiler alert. You kind of go into the Mushroom Kingdom area, just
Mhm.
fucking slap that over, and then you got the game.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
a game. You can just do
Yeah,
that.
that's
the
how
whole
that works.
thing.
I don't know. I think I don't think it's unlikely that would be the case. I'm
That
not
would be my
saying,
dream.
I think maybe you got like a 50-50 shot. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it makes sense that that's what they would
People
do.
love that game. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
it just
and
seems so
it's
weird to release it in like the polygonal, like
janky
64 version.
Oh, they could
I
fix
like
the
Hard to say what
camera.
they'll do.
And they haven't done, they fix all that shit.
Oh, boy,
the
yeah.
they haven't ever released any sort of up-res version of that, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like the only other release I can think about is like that DS one that is on a DS. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, to me it makes sense. Like, okay, so this was a conversation I was having because I did this like news story about the Mario report. So when that All Stars game came out in '93, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It was Mario 1, 2, 3, and then the Lost Levels.
Yeah.
But they rezzed up, they changed everything, right? They remastered that stuff.
Oh, I don't remember
That was
that.
in '93.
They did?
I truly don't remember.
I think they did.
They put like Mario 3 sprites on Mario 1?
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like that's what they did.
Yeah, it turns out you are correct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That just happens to be, right? So I feel like, I mean, I realize perhaps maybe that's a smaller project than doing that to 64 would be, but to me, like, it feels like they're going that route where like, oh, this is kind of just like a sequel to All Stars where they would pack up and release all those 3D era
Here's
games.
the thing. I don't think they're going to pack these up. I have a feeling these are going to be separate piecemeal releases, and I feel like at least a couple of them will probably be $60.
I think what you could do is you could put like World and Land and maybe 64 together.
Yeah, you could probably, but I feel like you could maybe put the two Galaxy games together as a $60 thing. I don't know what you would charge for Sunshine. They should probably pay you to take Sunshine.
Yeah, that should just be free with Nintendo Online or something.
I think it depends how much work they put into it. You know, if it's a remake of it, then I'll pay for it. They should put Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 together on the same package and charge charge what is an appropriate price for it. But they shouldn't split those up if they're going to do it, because I think those are two great games that are similar enough where it'd be nice to have them together. They're fantastic. A lot of those ones are. I'm not as psyched on 64 as some people, but I know people love it.
I do.
Maybe.
I'd be very curious if they did completely make over Super Mario 64 HD, if people would speedrun it in the same way. Like, I bet that would do interesting things for the speedrunning, because the speedrunners on the game, I find that fascinating how optimized that is, and like how many people are doing it like at like full optimization. So like, I think to have like an HD version where like the glitches are maybe different and things are different, I would be very curious to see what it would do for the speedrunners.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
And then it's got to be Zelda, Legend of Zelda's anniversary coming up if we're on
next year.
I think someone in chat said the year after.
Then,
it's next year.
Give me that Legend of Zelda 1 completely 3D remake of that.
But make it look like the 3DO games.
Yeah, make it look or just make it a
Wait,
cartoon.
there were 3DO Zeldas?
Oh.
There's at least one, wasn't there?
Oh.
They're terrible.
Wait, 3DO is in the console 3DO.
Yes. The Nintendo.
They're heinous.
They made mistakes. There were mistakes for me.
One small addendum to this story.
CDI,
one additional
rather.
thing. Oh, CDI. Sorry, yes. There is also apparently a new Paper Mario game in the works. And I think it is going to be in the vein of the older Paper Mario games.
I could never get into those games. I think I got really bored with the combat.
I love the GameCube one. That was just like Super Paper Mario?
Oh, that one's great.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Cool.
Yeah, the GameCube one's really good.
It gets a little weird. I remember it got weird towards like the end where it felt like kind of mindless at some point. Do you remember? It was just like they would make you do these wild things, like hit this block 400 times. It was like some weird part of that game. I don't remember that. But anyway, overall, that game's great.
All right, Alex, what's up next?
One more thing on the remake remaster front. This is just a quick one. To celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Nier, granted, not Nier Automata, which came out a few years ago, the original Nier, which came out on older consoles. There is apparently going to be a new remastered version of it called, and let me take a deep breath before I read this out.
Yeah.
Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139.
Is this a Kingdom Hearts game? What are you doing?
It might as well be. So this is coming to PS4, PC, and Xbox One. It is a remaster of the original Nier, which I have never played. I have considered playing it, but anyone going into this should be aware this is a very different game. It is not made by Platinum. It is much more, my understanding is the pace of it is much slower. It is a very different experience for the most part. It has, the Yoko Taro writing and style to it, but it is a very different thing. So I'm curious if people are going to jump in on this, thinking like, oh, hey, more Nier, and then realize, oh, this is very different.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Nier's a great game. Or Nier Automata.
Nier Automata is a great game. I will probably try out this version of Nier. We'll see how it goes.
Alex, keep us going here. What's up next?
All right. One more thing from me. This is not remaster news, and it's not great news. So Gearbox is in the news again. And, 3 out of 4 times when that happens, it means something bad happened, and something bad happened. So
what's the 4th time?
Well, the 4th time is, I don't know, like something like, let's say Borderlands sells a lot.
Okay,
that's a good
sure.
news,
Yeah,
right?
yes, that's a good news. That's a good news.
So Borderlands 3, it sold a lot of copies. It's doing pretty well by all accounts. So what you need to know going into this is that Gearbox, in general, their salary average is below the overall average for game studios in the industry. And part of the reason they do that is the case is because a lot of the people who work there are essentially promised profit sharing.
Okay.
So there is a 60-40 split between the company / owners and the rest of the employees who are essentially promised, bonuses based on game performance.
So the employees would have a 40% stake in the profits.
Yeah, and a lot of that depends on how long you've been at the company, what your role is.
But it's a pool.
Stuff.
It's a pool of 40%. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, there were a lot of promises, it sounds like, were made to people going into the Borderlands 3 development of like, hey, you're going to make a whole lot of money once this game sales, kind of go through. And then, we made recouped our costs and all that. But apparently that did not end up happening. So Kotaku, Jason Schreier, as always, coming with the hot bad news. So Gearbox employees were essentially told that bonuses were going to be way, way lower than they had been promised. Not non-existent, but much lower. And the reason being that despite the fact that Borderlands 3 has sold a lot of copies, apparently it did not make back its development costs until somewhat recently, and that included DLC costs and what have you. I believe the quoted total was somewhere around $140 million was needed before that stuff could, they could clear the recouping of costs. And so that's not great. And the sources to the story were anonymous. But I guess one of the things that was essentially said by Randy Pitchford during all of this was if they don't like it, they are welcome to quit, which is not the thing you want to say when you are delivering this kind of information to your employees who are essentially not.
It would be better to say nothing than to say that.
I agree. And I will. So far, Randy Pitchford has not gone any rants on Twitter about this yet. Someone probably took his phone away. We'll see.
Where did he say that? Was it reported he said that, or did he actually put that up?
It's in the story that Jason reported. Okay. It was a quote from one of the people who was talking about the meeting they were in where this was all laid out for them.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, not great.
Thanks, Alex.
Hey, look, man, I'm just reporting on the things that other people reported on. I didn't make this happen. I didn't do this. If you don't like it, you can quit.
Oh, good, nice. Wow.
In the words of Alex Navarro,
full
circle. Well, I hope everybody, and I mean this, take this for all the meanings. I hope everybody gets what's due them. So.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Both financially and karmically.
Yeah. So let's move on to another story that hopefully things take an uptick here. Are we up to you?
But
you got another one, Alex?
No, I was just saying, nope, things aren't taking an uptick. But Jeff, take it away for me, will you?
Yeah, Mr. Bacalar.
Well, I mean, look, this is the time we're in is a little rough,
uncertain,
and uncertain, if you will. And this is pretty much going to happen. And I think before we even get into it, like, expect more of this to happen. But nevertheless, The Last of Us 2 has officially been delayed, kind of with no real launch date announced. It's just going to be delayed indefinitely.
What was from what? What was the date?
It's supposed to be May 29th, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
That makes sense. That doesn't surprise me.
Because it had been pushed already, right?
It had been pushed a few times.
Yeah.
It had been pushed at least twice.
Okay.
Kind of like, I remember the first time it got pushed a month after its original announcement date. Like they announced it and then 4 weeks later pushed it. But nevertheless, yeah, it was supposed to come out the 29th, and Naughty Dog put out a tweet and it said,
wait, you got to stop for a second because this is important in the to mark the occasion. And this isn't that goofy, but it is a tweet with a nicely made graphic of the announcement. Yeah.
Well,
it's not in the Notes app. Yeah.
It's not in the Notes app. Like someone did maybe a tiny bit of Photoshop work here, but it just said we're disappointed, but we had to delay the game. They said the good news is that we're nearly done with developing The Last of Us 2. They're in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we could not launch Last of Us 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. That meant we had to delay it.
Yeah. I mean,
and there you go. Look,
how is anything coming out right now,
Exactly. Yeah. And people, I think there has been, for the most part, a level-headed response to this news. It only just kind of broke an hour or two ago. I think people are understanding in this situation, but also expect like a lot of shit to get delayed. Like a lot from every entertainment manufacturing medium possible. Like if these consoles somehow come out this year, I will be shocked.
The things that are coming out right now are things that were effectively done before this, overtook everything. And so now that things that, had like, at the very least, when we're talking about movies, like, there were worldwide launch campaigns that were set to go, and they basically had to scuttle all that shit. And the ones that got delayed to next year are the ones that they were not willing to put on streaming platforms as their launch, because they want to make that, that box office money when that shit comes out. And for video games, it's like, if those games weren't done before this all hit, the work is going to slow. Maybe it won't stop, but it's going to slow.
And done. Not like not close to done. I think we're in a situation now where my best wishes to anyone who has to do anything that was on a timeline, because holy cow, it's impossible. And then also I think people are, like you said, backload. I think people are generally pretty understanding, right? Like everybody's feeling the impacts of this worldwide. I hope there isn't some kind of backlash. I also hope the money is there to support these kind of pauses in the development, because for some companies the overhead on making games is not huge. If that game does not come out, you kind of burn down your money in the bank making the game and then try to recoup it on launch. So, boy, I hope that stuff works out for everybody in those situations. That's a tough one. And there's some stuff. Go ahead.
I was saying, get ready for Last of Us 2 as your PS4/PS5 launch title in November.
Well, so that got me thinking about launch titles for Xbox Series X and PS5, which is they would have to be pedal to the floor right now to kind of have those going, and that's going to be an interesting launch lineup. And
I don't know how anything from like the summer out comes out on time.
Can I make a prediction here?
Yeah, no, go
ahead. Not saying this will happen, but I'm saying this is probably the likeliest it'll ever be. This might be the first time in history where major launch consoles all came out in March.
Yeah,
because at the rate things are going, that kind of feels like maybe where it might end up.
Yeah, I mean there are too many problems to list. Supply chain problems, human resource problems.
It's all connected.
Yeah,
and it's a global issue. It is not exclusive to one territory. It is a global issue. The entire planet is going through it for the most part altogether. So that's why everything is in flux and everything is basically on pause.
And it's an entertainment product. It's video games. Right. We're going to be okay. I know a lot of people need entertainment now, probably more than ever, but it's everybody out there, everybody listening to this understands, but everybody out there needs to put that in perspective, right? Of like, hey, there's so many games to play. There's never been a better time to be playing all of the games that came out previously. And
there's never been a better time to plumb the depths of your backlog.
That's right. I've been plumbing my backlog before I got on stream, but
oh boy.
But it's
Were you teaching your kids before you got on stream?
they gotta learn sometime. So I think like you said, when it happens, they're not gonna not release this stuff. When it happens, it's gonna be awesome. Just think about how great 2021 is gonna be in like you said in March.
Mr. Positivity over here.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. I bet everybody's wondering if they had just gotten that streaming stuff all nailed and figured out, and they didn't actually need physical hardware. Maybe that would have been a little bit easier for some of the released. Let's release stuff. Jeff, did you pull this Apex thing or no? Should I just go through this?
Read it out, buddy.
What now?
The Apex Legends stuff apparently is going to add permanent duos mode, and going to do. No, okay. They will not.
It's not happening. I'm sorry.
That also is delayed.
Jeff canceled it.
I just saw this during the break as I was looking down the news. But Respawn announced that there's a new event for Apex Legend, focused on Bloodhound, and the event's going to run from April 7th to April 21st, and we're going to get a permanent duos mode. So you can find out more about that. I didn't have a chance to read through all the details, but people really like the duo stuff. So,
hey, going back to the whole cancellation stuff and that Nintendo story. So Nintendo's not confirming that. They obviously didn't announce anything. I wonder if they're just like, no, there's a pandemic. We know that shouldn't come out. Like, a part of me is a little, is thinking about that now.
I mean, in my estimation is that this was probably going to be their E3 push. And, at this point, it's going to be a matter of what do they think they can get out when they do decide to announce this. I mean, I had heard some loose talk among Japanese development people that like Japanese devs were having a harder time with this because the companies were not necessarily willing to let their employees like take assets home and work on stuff at home. It's a different, level of corporate security there. So I'm wondering if Nintendo is like trying to figure out ways to continue development that like in an environment that they're just not accustomed to working in.
Yeah, it's an interesting angle to the whole thing. I wonder.
Is that the news for this
think
week?
so.
Yeah, we just did news.
I think we did news. I mean, anything.
This is what the news is going to be like for a while.
How does anything getting made? I'm impressed that anything's getting made and people are making stuff. And
the thing that's creeping me out the most are like all the new commercials post-pandemic.
Those came out quick.
Well, like, yeah, but like they're not reshooting stuff. I think the majority of them are just doing like, existing footage with like titles and voiceovers and stuff.
I know. I'm just saying that like Toyota got on that shit real fast.
Yeah. Wait, are they themed to the? Yeah, I don't watch TV, so. They're
they're straight up talking about, hey, we're all in this together. We'll help you finance your Toyota and shit if you need it.
I hate it.
Well, no, like I mean,
there's other ones that are not as bad. I'm just saying.
They're not all cringeworthy. Like Hyundai had one that's like, I think it was Hyundai, whatever it is. They were saying like, oh, we'll figure out a way to like. I mean, yes, it is bad.
It's all just a way to sell shit.
Of course, they were saying like, hey, you can have this car for free right now, but we're gonna fuck you the second you got your job back.
I will say the ads from my ISP were a dinky little ISP called RCN. They also do our cable service, and they're great. I love them because they make the worst commercials in the world. Clearly, they are not appealing in any way, and I think that's why their service is so good. But their ads are just like, hey, we got bandwidth. We're good. So don't worry. We got you. Like, they're not trying to sell you more shit. They're just like, hey, you don't need to worry about us. We got a network. We got you. Don't sweat it. And you know what? That's the kind of ad I can get behind, where they're not trying to get you to buy or upgrade more shit. They're just like, hey, your service isn't going to be fucked by this. And guess what? So far, it hasn't been.
So I wonder if would Hyundai do like a just a shot of a lot of cars just filling in and be like, we're good. Like, don't
actually, that would mean they're not good.
You don't. Well, it'd be like, we're gonna be fine. You guys worry about what you got to worry about.
These cars aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, right. They're gonna be right here.
The most dystopic like thing I've seen so far was a pizza company that was like, hey, it's always been our policy to not have your pizza touched by human hands the second it comes out of an oven.
Wait, who is this?
I don't want to say the brand.
Oh no,
because I'm not sure who it was.
Robo
Okay.
Pizza.
It wasn't Domino's, and it wasn't like it was a lesser brand. I'm just not
Okay.
sure. I just don't want to like.
I'm like
blast
imagining
one
some like robot
don't-
with a mustache being like,
Yeah.
"Here at Robo John's, humans are never here, never touched."
Maybe it was Papa John's. 'Cause Papa John's I'll gladly put on blast.
I'll believe that no human hands have touched a Papa John's pizza. That I can believe.
I truthfully do not remember the brand, but they were very much like, hey, your pizza's made in a fucking magic factory anyway. So it's all science and
Right.
Abominations of
Our
genetic
pizza's-
engineering. So,
Our pizza's barely food to begin with, so
Yeah.
don't
the
worry.
deep
What
web
would
has
you
been
know?
onto us for years. We're coming out about it now.
Oh,
It's
it's-
actually a good thing.
We've run some tests.
Little Loompas that have been bred with horrible Italian stereotypes.
Yeah, like I haven't seen. I'm kind of thankful I haven't seen any TV ads because I think it would drive me bananas.
I will say this: it is definitely breached the moment where
Oh,
where your reality has crossed over into the dystopian sci-fi movie reality.
Oh yeah.
Where and that's the thing. And I don't know. Has anyone else really just lost interest in that kind of fiction?
Oh yeah.
I've just lost interest in dystopian fiction and everything like that, just because of what's basically on TV every day. And that's me distancing myself from what I'm watching on television. This is during motherfucking Wheel of Fortune that my kid loves to watch.
It's definitely got me filtering that stuff more. Like I was actually planning on watching Stalker this weekend, and I think I'm still gonna do that. But it needs to be real good for me to want to watch that at this point. I'm not just here for your basic day-to-day dystopian fiction. That shit does nothing for me right now.
Yeah, it's so pedestrian at this point. It's like, fuck, it's not compelling at all. It's like, okay, been there, done that.
It definitely my dial for sensitivity for that stuff is turned way up. Like when we were doing the last episode of Mass Alex, and it's about the galaxy being destroyed, but suddenly you're in this overburdened hospital, and one of the characters is in a corner just kind of like coughing because he's sick, because he's got this terminal illness, and it just is like, I don't want to deal with this right now, or this character. Can we just do this side story later?
It's
the beginning
inescapable.
The beginning of RE3 is literally someone on television, a human on television talking about a worldwide pandemic.
An FNV style thing.
You're like, why don't you make up something new?
Yeah.
That's,
it's fun.
Know.
And I'm glad. I was a little bummed out to see it, but maybe not bummed out. And bummed out's not the right word. I didn't buy it, and I was like, Animal Crossing, perfect escapism right now. But then they're in the Nook shop, they were selling the surgical masks, and I was like, I'm not buying that. That's
I have seen so many screenshots and videos from friends of mine wearing those, and I
in Animal Crossing.
Maybe there's a comforting quality to that, but also no.
Food. Let's chalk it up to that. I think
it's gonna affect people differently.
I really do think that this will have a direct effect on entertainment in a way that, look, if we could pivot away from dystopian Contagion movies and that kind of fiction for the next 2 decades, count me in.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not worth it. Let me be clear, but
totally, definitely not worth it. But also
definitely not worth it.
The sensitivity, like I said, my sensitivity way up. Though I'm not going to say this as a callous thing, but it would be interesting to know if around New York, if they are doing shots of because you never get the streets empty in New York, right? And
but they do it with that's easy.
Special
to do
effects now. Yeah, I guess so.
Like Stacey's worked on a bunch of shots like that, and you would lose your mind. They do it so easily now.
They just erase everybody.
It's not a problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Look, I think there's some amazing photography being done right now, and it's striking, and it's once in a lifetime type of shit. But that stuff's easy to do.
I just remember that one time
I would love to go to Times Square right now, but I won't, obviously. But
there
I see
are
pictures.
cameras.
I'm like, this is
live streams.
You could go look at the corner cams, or whatever.
Yeah, but it's different than being there.
Yes.
That would be wild to walk through Times Square right now.
When Sam and I, when we did the daring morning raid to get the equipment, we had to go to Sam's office as well, which is right near Times Square, and we drove through it. And so this was 2 weeks ago, so there were still some people around.
Yeah.
But the orders hadn't really come down hard at that point. So but even then, it was dead in a way that I have never in my lifetime seen
wild.
Times Square. So even before then, it was still very surreal to drive that. Like there was no traffic. I could just drive anywhere and it was fine.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
There's only 2 times that September 11th. After that, like September 12th was empty. The city was empty, and then Vanilla Sky was the other time that I think
You're talking about
the movie.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yes, the 2001
Yes.
Tom Cruise film Vanilla Sky.
I feel like I remember
Opera Los
liking
Ojos,
that.
Jeff. Oh yeah, but they did that. I think they did a for real cleared out Times Square shot.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
they
right.
did. I remember because that's why it's like Times Square is so weird right now. Because I remember growing up, my dad, I think he like loves Vanilla Sky. Watched it with the commentary. Something was like, "Did you know they cleared out Times Square for a whole half hour to shoot this or something?"
Which is pretty serious. Pretty serious. I think if I were there, I'd try and definitely break the barrier, be the one person running through in the shot, and like ruin
It's
that
funny,
whole shot.
They do a lot of that in 28 Days Later. In
Yes.
when what's his face? He gets out of the hospital, and I
He's
think there
walking
is
around.
one scene where you can like where they had to leave and you could make out people like in the back. There's that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember
really?
I remember the thing for that was they were shooting most of that movie between like 3 and 5:30 in the morning, I think.
Right.
And that was how they got
Oh.
all those shots, was that there weren't that many people to have to shuffle off to do that stuff.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Should we move out of news?
I think
It
so.
feels good to talk about that though. I just want everyone to, I think it's therapeutic in a way. It helps for sure.
As much as I enjoy just talking about the video game stuff here, I think it's always good to also kind of commiserate about the things we are feeling about what's going on right now.
Exactly, because when was the last time the entire planet is dealing emotionally, not on the same level, but we all have a thing in common right now.
It definitely is a worldwide. I cannot imagine, and this will be a study, I'm sure, when we're on the other side of this. Were there pockets of people who did not know about this? Like, were there are places nearly
you're
untouched?
a William
Apparently-
Gibson novel, I think. Like you're, like
Also, apparently, there's like a Big Brother type show. I don't know exactly what the show is, but there's like some kind of Big Brother type show that's shooting,
in
and none of
Germany.
them know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but none of them
Oh.
know.
Wait, and they're still
So
doing
they
it?
did-
Like,
Well, so they did a thing.
I don't know if they were, but they were for a while. What happened?
I think what they did was they did a live episode where they told
Oh.
them what was going on.
That is so fucked
Were they
up.
like, what?
I don't know. I didn't see it,
They
but I
should have
remember
let
that
them not know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they have to. That's pretty scary.
Yeah,
For
that's
people
a
to be
little-
like, I would like to leave this.
The
Yes.
only one of those I saw was Jared Leto, like 12 days after the outbreak started. Like came out, he's like, "Oh, I was on a meditation retreat. What the fuck?"
Right.
Yeah,
And-
what did you
yeah.
do, Jared Leto?
Yeah.
What did you do, buddy? Yeah, but there must be people. There must be
I'm
pockets.
sure there are.
Yeah, that that have not gotten the word on it. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. So anyway, back to your point, Jeff.
I mean,
yeah,
if you are that isolated that you don't know that this is happening,
Yeah.
you kind of not have
You're
to worry
probably
about
not. Yeah.
yeah,
One would hope.
but to your point of like a world, maybe not very often does the entire world have something on their mind. At the same
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
I don't think ever. So
Yeah. Let's move on out of news. We're going to take another very quick break, so stick around. We won't take that long, but don't go anywhere. You're watching the Giant Beastcast or listening to it. Oh, look at that. So quick. We're back. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me, Vin.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you here. We're going to get started on some of those emails now. If you have an email and you'd like us to read it or check it out or possibly bring it onto the air, you can send it to beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. Abby Russell is there. She picked out the emails. Thank you very much for going through all the emails.
You're welcome. Thank you for sending them. I will say
You're welcome.
A lot more emails than usual. I wonder why.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to have more time to send us some emails.
So again, if you've got an email and want to send them in, beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. Obviously, we cannot get through them all, but I know Abby tries her best to read them all and forward them on if they are relevant to be forwarded on. Abby, what do we got this week?
Okay, Alex, will you read this one from Ben, please?
Sure thing. This first one from Ben says, "Hi, Beasters. Has there ever been a successful major game that features the bad guy as the main character? I'm not talking about anti-heroes, but really evil, no good, playable character. The closest I can come up with is GTA, but are there any irredeemable main characters that stand out? Is there room for this kind of storytelling in games? Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
So off the bat, the first thing that came to mind, I don't know how successful these games were, but they were very well liked. The Evil Genius series.
Oh, sure.
Those RTS games, like you are literally playing a supervillain in those games.
Yeah, building a lab.
Yeah, they're kind of cartoonish, but like, you're the bad guy in those games. The only other ones I can think of, like right off the top of my head, are ones where you kind of have room to make your character that way, like the KOTORs and the Mass Effects of the world. Because granted, I haven't been playing as an evil character in Mass Alex, but I have gone back and watched some of the cutscenes from the earlier games I've already played and seen what the Renegade versions of. And boy, that is some mustache twirling, fucking like just nasty evil shit they let you do.
So good. Do you remember the Overlord games? I really like those games.
Yeah.
Those were
I don't know what that is.
They were good. They were like there was a genre for a while. They don't really do it that much anymore, where you just had like minions you would control and kind of send them off to do things.
Minions? A minion game?
But
not officially licensed to Minions.
But kind of thematically, you're not far away. They were like more like Gremlins, and they made at least 2 of them.
Were they clumsy and funny?
Yeah, they were totally goofy.
They were like little goblins.
It was very, very English humor. I think it was Codemasters put that out.
It was Codemasters that put it out. You played as a sort of Sauron-looking guy, with a big helmet and a sword, and then you had all these goblins that ran around. I think there was a second one, and I think it wasn't as good, but I remember the first game being pretty well received.
Yeah, I liked it. You play as Bowser in like Mario Kart.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he's. But like, who's truly evil? Like, because part of me is like, I would love like a Joker game, but Joker like kills people. You know what I mean?
He's pretty evil.
I mean, so do most video game protagonists, if we're being honest.
Yes, true. But there's like some bullshit lore of like, you gotta, you're the good one killing them. They're all bad. But like, it's very different than like, I don't know, like Joker blowing up a building or something. You know what I mean?
You should see my character in The Division. Man, talk about evil, just running through. I'd get some renegade points.
Hey,
for
look, that
place.
dollar flew.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I actually just thought of another one, Blackwater.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
the most evil of both video games and characters.
Yes.
Let's see. What else intentionally evil?
Isn't there something coming out from it's indie where you play like this virus thing?
Oh, who is making that right now?
That sounds like a bad time now.
Maybe pump the brakes on that.
Delay that game.
No, it's like it's less a virus and more like an alien blob of like guts and blood that just like kills everyone in a space station or something.
Oh, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Yeah.
I gotta look it up.
You play as like an alien thingy. Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called Carrion.
Okay.
Carrion?
Oh, okay. There's also, that reminds me of a lot of those like asymmetrical games. You have like the Freddy Krueger ones, Dead by Daylight. Not exactly the same thing, but
I mean, in like the Jason one, you are just running around and murdering teenagers the way that Jason Voorhees does. So that is kind of in the same vein. There's that Predator game also that's they did a test for that last weekend.
Oh yeah,
the one where you're the one is the Predator and there's like 4 soldiers running around trying to not die.
Here Comes the Predator. That game.
Yeah.
The what's the one with the little alien? The Mars Attacks game.
Destroy All Humans.
Mars Attacks?
It's Destroy All Humans, but it's.
I just saw Mars Attacks for the first time a couple weeks ago.
What'd you think?
What else? I had fun. I liked it. I loved the weird, sexy alien.
Yes.
The way she moves is so cool.
Played by Tim Burton's then wife.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
That movie, huh?
I liked it. It's a weird one. There's a lot of really weird stuff about it.
I think
it's kind of fun. I like how stupid everybody was.
It's very stupid.
Oh my gosh.
How many times the joke, I could not get over the joke of how many times they were like when he's calling the like French prime minister, he's like, we're in negotiations. Like they say they'll like reconsider, and whoever the fake, it's like Jack Nicholson, I think, is like, get out of there, get out. And then they all kill him. It's very funny.
Very, very silly. Ack. Should we move on to the next question?
Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, I just already have that voice.
Vinny,
yes.
why don't you from Alex, please?
Sure. I'm a special ed teacher who is now forced to record and post videos of himself giving lessons for the students. The problem is, every time I record something, I immediately delete it because I hate the sound of my own voice. How did y'all get over this in posting your quick looks and other videos? I could really use some advice. Thanks. That comes from Alex in St. Paul, Minnesota. You just gotta get over it. That's it.
Keep hearing it to where it's like, I've heard the sound of my voice played back to me as much as I've heard it in my brain. Like, this is, you just get used to it.
Get yourself an old answering machine that plays your outgoing thing, so that every time you let some, well, first of all, get a house landline, and then get an answering machine that plays the hey, sorry, I can't get to the phone right now, but please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Every time somebody calls, and let everything go to voicemail.
Yeah, I still hate the sound of my voice. I don't enjoy it. I don't like listening to it. But yeah, I wish there was more specific advice to give, but it really is just powering through it until it becomes white noise and you just don't notice anymore.
But Alex, does it help that Eugene loves the sound of your voice?
That does make me feel good.
Specifically?
Oh yeah, he loves Alex's. He calls it the radio guy all the time.
Oh my God, I had no idea. I love that.
That is cool.
I believe what he said is I have a face for radio, but yes.
I don't know. He did not say that.
I hope Eugene's doing well.
Oh my gosh,
yes. I want him to thrive.
Yes, Eugene's great.
I'm just walking by his desk and seeing those like kind of romantic looking lions.
Yes, every time.
Lion kissing.
Background.
For those who
not
don't
watching Tiger King.
for those who don't know, Eugene is our office manager, and he's super sweet and super nice. And where he sits is right behind the wall of our studio, so he just constantly hears.
No.
Yeah.
You just hear screaming nonstop.
Yes. And like when we did those like let's sing quick look streams where we're singing, he's like, I can't believe you guys did that to Shania Twain or whatever.
He's great. I think you just got to power through it. That's it. Yeah. I hear my voice right now. It's in my own head. I'm monitoring it in my headphones right now. Just pretend it's somebody else. Pretend it's somebody else. Pretend it's somebody else.
I also think, I don't know, just get used to it. Yeah, it's like truly what it is. Get used to it. It's just part of you. It's fine. It's also think about like how many voices you hear, and even like the weirdest voices. Most of the time, you're just like, whatever. That's how they talk, and then you never think about it again, right? Like I doubt that your voice sounds like something that would make other people go, ugh, their voice. You know.
I mean,
but
I know of voices out there that
name names, Jeff. Name names. Let's hear them.
No, you don't know these people. I know these people. But yes, look, it's not like you can do anything about it. So get used to it, unfortunately, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
people probably know this. We've talked about this before, but I mix my voice to sound like it sounds in my head before it goes out with some hardware. Everything.
Get out of here.
I've never had my real voice go out on stream.
Get out of here.
No, how would you do that? I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. It's impossible.
In person, he sounds way different than he does on all the
He sounds just like Fran Drescher. It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. I have to speed everything up.
I just want to put it out there. Alex, I do love your voice as well.
Oh, thank you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like my voice, Jeff?
I'm sorry, who's this?
Jeff, do you love my voice, Jeff?
Oh no, you turned the filter off. Put it back.
I forget what Fred Drescher's laugh sounds like.
Oh my God, is that what it sounds like? Is that what my voice actually sounds like? Oh my God.
Abby, I do like your voice, Abby. Yes, I do.
Great. Thank you so much.
What's up? What's up next?
Will you read this from Justin?
Absolutely. Greetings from Olympia, Washington. I recently came across an online poll related to Valve games on the Half-Life review page on IGN and wanted to pose the poll to all of you so you can argue about it. The question is, which Valve 3 game would you most be excited to hear announced at this point? Is it Left 4 Dead 3, Portal 3, Half-Life 3, Team Fortress 3, or Dota 3? For me personally, I guess Half-Life Alyx is the closest thing you're going to get to a Half-Life 3 for the next great while. Just seeing the phrase Portal 3 on printed somewhere has me thinking thoughts that I haven't ever thought before. So I guess it's between those two. Maybe Portal 3. Yeah, one of those two, Half-Life or
I
Portal.
feel like there hasn't been like I'm trying to think of another because Portal 3 is such a good narrative puzzle game.
Yeah.
And I feel like they don't make a lot of those. I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like a
No,
big
you're right.
narrative puzzle game like that, I would love that. And
Yeah,
I would Portal.
I would really want the original creative team behind those first two games to be back for that if they were going to do it. That's kind of the make or break for me. Whereas, like with a Left 4 Dead 3, like I think you could probably recapture the spirit of something like that without necessarily having to have all the exact same people making it. So that might be like the easier one, but I think I would probably personally most want a Portal 3 that was made by, the same creative minds that brought you the first two games.
Mhm.
I also have never really played any Team Fortress or Dota for the most part. So I don't have a lot of. Yeah.
Team Fortress is great. I think Team Fortress might just be my pick because I think they would have to do something so wild in the space that we're in now that I would be so curious to see what Team Fortress is today. I mean, you may not have played a bunch of Team Fortress, but you have definitely seen Team Fortress 2. Like like the animations, the scout, the heavy, like that thing stuck. So in order to follow that up, man, they would really have to put resources and energy into it. But yeah, my wish list would be a Portal 3 made by the people who made Portal 1 and 2.
Totally.
Left 4 Dead.
You got any opinions?
Left 4 Dead, I think, is the same thing. Like Left 4 Dead in today's space might be really interesting.
Yeah. Jeff, I was asking you, do you have any particular preference for yourself other than we already got Half-Life?
Yeah, no, definitely Portal 3.
Portal 3.
I don't care for the Left 4 Dead games, and Fortress and Dota are just not my thing.
Did we play Left 4 Dead during Extra Life? Is that what we played? What was that zombie game we were playing?
We did play Left 4 Dead 2, yeah.
It's the only time I've ever played that game. It was fun.
Yeah.
I have no interest in. I know I'm playing RE3 now, but like another zombie game, who cares?
It was a lot more novel in 2009, 8, 9 when it came out. So yeah.
It was like a very specific fad that I hope that we're moving on from a little bit. I mean, granted, I am excited for The Last of Us 2, but that feels like such a novel take on the zombie thing in a lot of ways. Anyway.
It's also not really about the zombies.
Yes, precisely.
Do you remember Team Fortress 2 when it was, gosh, I want to say when it was first previewed, it was military realistic stuff, and it had the big technology was moving the characters' mouths according to your microphone. I forget what they call it. It was like some kind of mic voice speak, but it wasn't all the cartoon stuff. They were all like realistic looking Half-Life polygonal people.
I do not remember that at all, but I believe you that was the case. Yes.
Yeah, I want to find some images or some videos of it. I think I'm not making it up. Abby, what's next?
Okay, Alex, will you read this one from Matt?
Sure thing. Matt says, "Hello, beasties from down under, where we are getting closer to the setting of Mad Max every day. After relying on Wi-Fi for years, I'm finally getting my house wired with some Cat 6 Ethernet with points in multiple rooms, including, of course, my study and my home theater room. At my desk, I have a 27-inch 1440p 144 hertz G-Sync monitor, which is very good. However, I have mulled whether occasionally I want to return to the big screen couch play using the TV while running games on the PC. I know some of you guys, Jeff, I'm looking at you, have used the Steam Link, but I was wondering if you have any experience or impressions of using an NVIDIA Shield TV. I gather using an NVIDIA graphics card, I have a 2080 Ti in my system.
Dang.
I could use their game stream tech to stream games from the PC over to the Ethernet to a Shield and the TV, providing it is all hooked up right. Alternatively, just some impressions on whether the process works pretty well or not on Steam Link for comparison's sake might be good. Thanks in advance."
Dang. Yeah, 2080 Ti, just sell that and buy another house. Just play games in there. Holy cow. So wait, NVIDIA Shield or Steam Link? That's the question?
I think so, yes.
Well, the way I understand it, Shield is going to grab it from outside, right?
What do you mean? The Shield? No, you can do local streaming on that.
Oh, I'm thinking GeForce.
You're thinking of you're talking about their service. No, this is
so one or the other. I mean, they're probably both based off just in intranet, like Ethernet streaming, right? So
So what I've heard, so the Steam Link caps at 1080p. I've never used the in network shield stuff or the streaming with that, but I think I can go higher. I think I can go.
I haven't done it either. I don't know. I can look it up.
I think my 2 cents is I think if you can afford the shield, you should go for it. It's more money. They were giving Steam Links away like at some point for just looking at a Valve page. I think if the shield is in your budget, it sounds like that is probably just a more powerful. It's got everything that Steam Link would have and more. I would probably get a shield if I wasn't so invested in the Steam Link already, or if my monitor did more than 1080p, which the monitor I have from work now does, but my old one doesn't.
It seems like it is capable of doing it.
Yeah, so I think it. It's.
I mean, performance wise though, I can't say one or the other though. I just haven't had enough experience with it. But you like the Steam Link performance?
I use the Steam Link all the time. I don't have that many problems with latency. I use it over a wired connection in the house.
Wired is key though.
Yeah, I don't think I would necessarily get into a fighting game tournament using it or do some hardcore race driving with it. But I love it. Use it pretty much. The kids use it all the time in big picture mode with all my PC games. It's a joy to use. It's so easy.
I need to try it out more.
And
$5. So if you don't like it,
how much is it? Are they still selling it?
I don't know. I don't think they are, but I feel like you can probably find them pretty cheap anywhere.
Okay.
Maybe not now, all considered, but
at some point, I think I have 3 of them in this house because at some point, like it was like $5.
It was more to ship than buy.
Yeah. But it sounds like the shield is just way more powerful. That's having not used one, but anecdotally, what I've heard.
Didn't Ron say he had one?
But not using it for that purpose. A lot of people, a lot of people hack them for emulator devices too.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. What's up next?
Okay, Jeff, will you read this one from Nier, please?
Absolutely. What's up? If you had to choose a fictional character to get quarantined with for 2 weeks, who would you choose? No other family members are allowed, just the 2 of you in your current house or apartment.
Ooh.
Shit.
First of all, 2 weeks is that's really a short timeline here compared to maybe what some of us are looking at.
2 weeks is hopeful.
Yeah, very hopeful.
2 weeks,
this sounds like a delight. Yeah.
Pizza the Hut. Because then you can remember Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs?
Yeah, from Spaceballs. But like, I love how like yours is like, well, I gotta pick somebody I could literally eat.
Wait, what else is there really? I mean, what's up?
Pick a fictional chef. I think I would honestly pick like somebody who has magic powers. Who's like a fictional magical person.
Oh, sure. So we could just teleport to like a pocket dimension.
We need to go back to Vinny picking Pizza the Hut.
We do. Why do you want a giant mound of grease and cheese like living in your home?
He's like pizza vomit. What
no.
He doesn't look good, man.
Are you kidding? Every time I go upstairs.
Pizza. Disgusting.
Every time I go upstairs, I could
in it.
Oh, I could eat a little pizza every time. No, he wouldn't. He's alive.
Yeah, but it's even worse. Oh my God, even worse.
Oh,
Vinny, this is worse than a Dan answer.
No, what are you talking about? No,
this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Oh my God.
What?
Oh man. I don't know. I just Googled it, and then there's like a picture that says, "You can't out Pizza the Hut," and then the caption is, "Tell him, Vinny."
Well, right, because that's the guy next to him, isn't it?
Yeah. I could eat you
played
up.
by the Unsolved Mysteries guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm putting this in our Slack.
What does he say? He says, "Pizza's gonna call out for you." Right?
He's gonna call out for you.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "You're delicious."
You're delicious. Yeah. No. I love this guy. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Ridiculous.
It's
my answer is Isabelle from Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's a fun one.
She's so upbeat. She's so positive. She's so motivating. I feel like she would keep me sane.
Would she have a speech bubble over her head? Would she only talk in that Animal Crossing language?
No, she'd have a speech bubble with the Animal Crossing voice.
Okay, because I could say that could be a little grating after a while. Just be like, Isabelle, I do not know what I cannot understand you.
That's like having a dog, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But like, in this case, it's a very motivating dog who can also help you with your organizational needs.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Harry Potter.
Sure. Why not?
I feel like it's boring though. And Harry Potter also is like kind of like a hothead. Yeah, he's like a mopey teen and like hot-headed in a way that I'm like, ugh. Also, I like living alone.
That actually sounds like a terrible choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I would like.
Who's a fun wizard?
I'll give you the answer Dan would say.
All
To
right.
this question. He would say Jessica Rabbit.
Ew! Why did you pick a horny answer for Dan?
I don't know if Dan's like horny for Jessica Rabbit. I think you're putting I think you're giving Dan selling him short.
You know what his actual answer? You know what his actual answer would be? An in-play racquetball.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, he would choose like some kind of like macho man, Randy Savage. Like I don't know,
a wrestler,
like wrestler, like fake persona kind of thing.
A real fictional character.
If you gotta be quarantined with someone, I mean, wouldn't you consider the possibility of having to be romantically involved with them at some point?
I wouldn't do that to Roger. He's they're in a committed relationship.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Jessica Rabbit anymore. I feel like we're beyond Jessica Rabbit.
I'm never beyond Jessica Rabbit.
Well, my answer is still the best. Pizza Hut. Or
no, it's not.
It's the worst. It's the literal worst.
Or like Stuart Little or one of the other billion like little mice that can talk because like he wouldn't take up because he doesn't take up a bunch of space and he's adorable and like doesn't need a lot of food.
Ratatouille chef, the Ratatouille rat. He can teach you how to cook.
Oh, the rat's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, but I have one. One of the parents from the Fairly Odd Parents. It's just a little fairy that flies around and grants you a bunch of wishes.
Oh, that sounds great.
But don't they always keep messing up? Wouldn't you like? Don't they like do bad wishes?
No, I think the son gets into antics and stuff. I haven't seen that show in a long time.
Okay.
But
okay.
I think all the answers I have in my head, they're gonna stay there.
I feel like yeah, Dan would probably say not to put Dan on blast, but I feel like he would have an answer that we'd all be thinking of. Would be like, well, I'd get this person and then I keep him like locked up in a room so he'd tell me jokes all the time and like it would turn into some kind of like misery situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I get David Letterman and he'd be entertaining and I'd keep him.
I'd make him be my best friend or I'd never let him leave.
Yeah, that's right. I'd be like, finish the late night. Keep going. Do it. You have to finish it. We should call Dan. All right. Move on to the next one.
Yes. Vinny, will you read this one from Eric, please?
Sure. Yes. During this quarantine period, I picked up Planet Zoo as I was an avid fan of Planet Coaster. I noticed when I played either of those games, I always felt happy and joyous. I would probably theorize it's because the points of those games are to make your guests and animals happy. But I did notice something that stood out compared to other games. Those are the few games that made me happy. Yes, I love video games, have my favorites, get excited, and enjoy and get pleasure from other games, but this game elicits joy in me. They make me feel happiness. Positivity. So question to you, what games make you feel happy? What puts you in such a joyous and positive mood? Comes from Cincinnati Eric.
Animal Crossing is mine.
This is just like a comfort food question, right?
Yes. There have been so many times when I've played Animal Crossing that I've just been like legitimately smiling, especially when I first played. Like the first time you go through the museum is like a wow moment, and just like how adorable all the characters are. Like there's still a lot of times when I'm playing Animal Crossing and I'll see a character like sit down in the grass eating a sandwich, and it is the cutest thing in the world to me. Or like I'll have an animal like looking at like a little plant or a bug or something with a magnifying glass. I love that stuff. I think it's
I got one right here.
Okay.
Animal Crossing is definitely one of those games for me. I do enjoy that, but here's another one. I think people at home will remember it.
Aww, Kirby's Epic Yarn is what Alex is holding up a copy of Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn. I think people remember the quick look I did with Ryan of that one, where we were basically just cooing the whole time through that thing because it's just such a positive, happy thing. And I like some of the Yoshi games that came afterward, but that one in particular, I don't know, just hit me like right in the pleasure center of my brain in a way that just like makes me feel bubbly in a way that I oftentimes don't know if I'm actually capable of being.
This doesn't continue to make me happy, but at the time, it did, and it was Outer Wilds. Was
oh yeah,
oh yeah.
I just, as I was playing, it was constantly lighting up whatever pleasure center of my brain that made me happy. I get that also from things like but just like, this is so good. Like, this is such, I just want to play this. Satisfactory and Factorio do those things, but it's a little different. Like, I take joy from the factory building, but it's a little more workish. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little more, not pure elation, more of like, I feel like I accomplished something.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to get that kind of that silly pleasure feeling also from the Ape Escape games when they were still making those, because they're just so slapstick and goofy, and the monkeys are very cute. So I kind of like that one. That one makes me smile.
Any of the Mario games really does do it for me. I know that's such a low hanging fruit
okay,
answer.
you have a basic answer.
But like, I know
Yeah.
I'm a basic person. Everyone knows this about me. Specifically, starting Mario World. I don't know what it is. Maybe the little music bites, the little like sparkly something about starting Mario World just puts me into this happy coma that I'm just like, hey, this is adorable. This is cute. Like, how do you even describe the sound from that? It's all like, like really,
You did it.
just like, it's like someone's like, it's like crushing little bits. Like, it's just very, so it does something. It just flickers my little receptors in a way that I like.
It triggers your ASMR.
Maybe it does something. I feel good when I do it. I feel good.
Feel good.
Feel good.
Abby, do we have another email?
Yes, we do. Alex, will you read this one from Jim, please?
Sure thing. Jim says, hey, Beast Crew, I was wondering if you had any recommendations on some virtual tabletop of virtual board games that my wife and I can play with friends over Hangouts or FaceTime.
Good question.
We were going to try out some Jackbox with some friends using Google Hangouts and sharing the desktop using our phones to play along. This got me thinking that it would be really nice to play something like, say, Ticket to Ride or Codenames with friends while also maintaining social distancing. But would be a little rough. It would be a little tough for games with a deck to be able to hide your cards. Is there something that utilizes phones to provide players with their own hand using the same deck game? I know it seems like a silly ask, but a lot of my friends don't have consoles, aren't tech savvy, but have played and enjoyed things like Jackbox before.
Well, if there isn't one now, someone's building it.
Oh yeah.
There is Tabletop Simulator, which is on Steam, where you can kind of build the rules of your own game, or you can try and import the stuff to make your own game. It's kind of an open-ended system. It's maybe a little complicated. It's not just turn it on and go.
It's like a sandbox kind of thing.
A little bit, yeah. There are plenty of games that have digital versions. Games like Scythe has a digital version. Asmodee is a publisher who puts out a lot of digital versions of a lot of their games. If you're looking for those, I was going to say Pandemic, but yeah, why not? Pandemic has a digital version. It's also on the consoles. There you're working to save the world. So there are definitely digital versions of games. Abby, you said you tried Jackbox, right? A remote Jackbox. Was that you?
Nope.
Okay.
It was an email we got last week. I think.
It was. Okay. So those digital versions are pretty good, and they let you do online stuff. I have not done a bunch of physical board games translated into digital without using something else. So, like hey, we're going to use webcams and do that stuff. I think we talked a little bit about trying to use things like Roll20 for tabletop RPGs and stuff like that.
Someone in the chat room recommends netgames.io. I'm there right now, and that seems
like a solution.
They've got some stuff. They've got One Night, Ultimate Werewolf, Codename, Secret Hitler, Spyfall, Love Letter, and Avalon.
That's neat. There's also, this is like a little more like involved than a lot of just like pick up and play board games, but there is like a lot of people love the Magic the Gathering Arena that's online.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's there's I don't know if people. This is maybe a little more off the beaten trail than Jim was talking about, but Gloomhaven even had as a Steam digital version that's still in early access. I haven't checked back on it in a while, but you know, they are trying to make a lot of digital versions of tabletop board games, and I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's looking for. I was trying to figure this out with my brother who's moving to Australia soon about like, hey, how can we do some of these things where you would need to have you know, one person has the game and then you'd have to show them their hand, right? Like how would you do that? How would I show you a hand? How could we play over something like Google Hangouts or Skype or something? But digital versions of the games and that tabletop simulator, if you want to look into it, I've heard actually pretty good things. So check that out.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
Vinny,
Yes.
can you read this last one from Daniel, please?
Sure. You are forced to change and or add one monster part to your current self and live with it permanently. It can be anything from horns on your head, sharp fangs, claws for hands, etc. Just note the part is going to definitely look monstrous. So for example, if you wanted a tail, it's going to look more like a dragon tail than a cute cat or dog tail. So what monster part would you add to yourself, or what part of you would you change to be monstrous? Oh boy. Oh boy.
I want a monstrous set of abs.
So you just like show them off like the guy in Ring Fit?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right. That was so funny.
Bat wings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes, they look bad, but they are still wings that I can fly with. So therefore,
Yeah.
Flying does seem pretty
That's
sweet.
I might change my answer. I want, except instead of bat wings, I want like crow's wings, like a dirty set of crow's wings. Like I'm a crow fought something.
So you want to be a goth monster?
Yes. I mean, you don't. You have bat wings.
Bat wings feels a little less goth. A little
What? Don't you even act like that isn't goth?
Oh, come on. Bats are vampires. They're interchangeable.
That's my point. Is that vampires are not necessarily goth. They are adjacent, but they are separate disciplines of
vampires. You're a goth. Don't backpedal.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not anti-goth. I'm pro-goth. If I need to be goth, I'll be goth. I'm just saying crow wings are more goth. Bat wings are more vampire. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but vampires are goth.
Not necessarily.
All the vampires I've met, they're goth as hell.
I think I might be. I've been thinking about this, listening to this heated discussion, and I think I might
for like
agree
17 seconds.
Yeah, for about 5 years, and I think I might agree with Alex that black dark crow wings might be more goth.
No, that's just like Edgar Allan Poe shit. That's not
my thing is, I'm not saying all vampires are goths because I think there's like a certain era involved, but I do think having a pair of bat wings is just as goth as having a pair of crow's wings.
They're equal goth. They're equal goth.
What if I'm a monster with bat wings that's way into industrial music? Okay, like maybe that's more my speed. You know, I'm out there. I'm more into like the Nine Inch Nails of the world as opposed to like.
Okay, your preferences, your social standings, whatever doesn't matter. What matters is goth wings v crow's wings, equal level of goth. Equal level of goth. I listen to Dolly Parton. Okay, equal level of goth.
Well, that makes you an expert on goth.
I'd take Dolly Parton wings. Just one Dolly Parton on each shoulder blade that flap around. I think I maybe would just go on just full on horns. Just yeah, but the horns like Hellboy.
Diablo style?
Yeah, like big old Hellboy horns that are the curly. Because I feel like once I have those, the rest is gonna work itself out. Like I'm in it all the way.
They seem like they're the most attractive.
Like physically attractive?
Yeah, like I feel like I could date someone with like.
I feel like Jeff right now is imagining Jessica Rabbit with a pair of horns.
And he's getting horny.
Jeff is gonna change. Jeff wants to be quarantined with Ron Perlman from Hellboy for a little while.
I love me some Ron Perlman.
Oh, I mean, who doesn't? He was in something not that long ago, and I was like,
he's in a lot of things all the time ago. What do you mean?
It works.
Yeah, he works.
He's great. What a guy.
Yeah, but big old horns. And then maybe I can like maybe if they regrow, I can sell them to people, like sell my own horn and just.
Okay, I'm glad you've really vetted the economics of this.
I got to make money. I'm a devil child. I got to figure this out somehow. Is that it for emails?
Jeff, did you say your answer? What did you say? You also horns?
I did not say.
Do you have
anything.
a preference?
Jeff, okay, picture this. I have one for you. Picture this. Picture this.
Okay.
Your head, but then your body's a snake body.
Wait, but he has no arms. He has no arms or legs.
Everything. It's just his head with snake body.
Like 4 seconds after I'm like this way, I'm just like, what was I thinking?
Undo.
This is the worst decision. That's hilarious.
No, Jeff, don't have a no.
I mean, come on, man. The first thing that popped into my head was like the teeth.
Yeah,
like, that would be fun in a way. I don't know why. I feel like the fangs would just like come at you. You know, I guess they have to like leave your mouth, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like stuck with these like sharp ass fangs.
But you probably have the ones that go up from the bottom like an orc, you know.
I'm sorry, I can't see what you're doing there, Vinny.
I'll repeat the gesture when I've seen it. You know, you'd have the ones that go up. I'll move off.
Right.
You probably didn't see with my mic standing away, but I'm putting one finger from my left hand, one finger from my right hand together, like teeth coming out.
Same hands on either side.
You're making a V with your finger. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I think that means it's time for corrections, but we don't have any this week. Should I play the music anyway? Everybody wants to hear the music. I'll play the music anyway.
Okay. Just play Yeehaw.
Oh, sure, we can do that.
No.
It's time for corrections.
All right.
Gosh.
There are none.
Yeah.
Time for corrections. If you've got a correction, send them into beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. We don't have any corrections this week. I need a record scratch sound. Yeehaw.
I
think I have one if you want it.
They're impossible to find. Well, that's gonna do it for this week's show. Then we got Mass Alex up and running. We've done 2 full episodes, and that officially means that the show, in some form or another, is running.
Yes.
Go check it out. It's for if you're premium, get out there. And again, thanks for anybody who is able to maintain their premium membership. We do appreciate it. We know it is absolutely not the best time, but we do appreciate it. And lets us do what we're doing. So thank you very much out there. We're trying to figure out any bonus things that we can throw your way or keep going out there.
I got a bonus thing.
What's your bonus thing?
I don't know. I feel like I want to say there's probably technology that exists that lets me stream pinball onto your website.
We could probably make that happen.
Jeff, nobody can stream pinball.
Is that what you want to do? Because I can do it.
I'm morally opposed.
You could definitely do it, but
it's a weekend thing.
Do you have to do it on the weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on the weekends. Like that's when I want to do it.
Okay.
That's when I want to do it.
Okay.
We could maybe be convinced to spin up a chat for him and set that up for him. Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, somebody could probably figure that out.
I mean, you just let me know. You got my phone number. Just call me up and be like, "Hey, we're gonna do it."
Your people come talk to our people. We'll see what we can do.
I am my people, so
just
right. Well, your first thing is you're going to need to get some different people.
And then the second thing is send me a gamer chair with my name embroidered on the back of it.
Okay, you can have the chair, but the embroidery, come on.
Yeah, we could try and figure this out. I think you said you go for about an hour, right?
We go for about an hour. I can maybe do 90 minutes, depending on how the mood strikes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll get in touch. We'll go offline. We'll figure it out.
It's offline. Yeah,
offline. We'll circle back offline. Meet
offline.
me and I can't even think of any of the meeting rooms that we used to have. Nolita, go. We'll book that room. We'll go talk about that thing offline. So
yeah, offline. Yeah,
offline. We'll figure it out. Weekend though, huh? Ugh.
Is that so bad? Why I can't do it during the week?
You make me touch a computer on the weekend.
Well, why don't you just teach me how to do it, and we'll talk offline. We'll talk.
Oh, this guy wants, hey, Abby, now this guy just wants access. He wants the keys to the kingdom. He's gonna make his own stream over there. Look at this guy.
Oh, how hard is it? Schedule
lunch. On stream, I don't think so.
Saying rocket science, kids.
I mean, honestly, it's less of a kingdom and more of a hamlet, but I mean, we could probably still let it in.
Give me the keys to your hamlet.
Best a gated community.
I'm pretty sure you have CMS access anyway. Just don't give them, don't let them know. Anyway, yeah, we should try and figure that out and do a thing. Abby, you have stuff coming up.
Yeah, we have another Clue Crew tomorrow with me and Alex, 11 a.m. Eastern again. And then 9 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be doing a charity stream. So I hope people come and join us for that. For this one, I'm going to try to do them every Friday while we're in lockdown. For this one, we are going to be playing Animal Crossing with some friends from the site, and hopefully maybe we can come and visit some of your towns too. But I hope you guys come check that out. It'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern, charity stream to help aid some of the doctors and the frontline workers who are, working in our healthcare systems.
Yes, thank you, Abby.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think what else. If you're listening to this and you haven't been to giantbomb.com, we have been streaming. The folks on the West Coast doing an amazing job as well. Really streaming, putting a lot of work into pretty much, I'd say there's got to be over 6 or 7 hours a day, right? At least.
Close to it.
Yeah, close to it. So if you want to go over there, take your mind off some stuff, just watch some folks play some games, go check out over there. You can join us in the chat at giantbomb.com/chat. Most days we are going from roughly, I'll just say 12 o'clock Eastern to about 8 o'clock Eastern. Streams are running over there. Possibly getting a Jeff Baclar stream going with some pinball. And I think that's going to do it for a show. Thanks again for everybody for tuning in, for listening, and sticking around with us. And again, thank you if you're premium for keeping your membership going. And thanks again also in advance if you're going to donate during that charity stream. A lot of people having tough times out there. This has been the Giant Beastcast. Thank you, Alex Navarro. Oh, here we go. This is where I got to do the timing on this one. Here we go. The tough one. Thank you, Alex Navarro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff Baclar.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby Russell.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. If it's your birthday out there, happy birthday to you. I hope you got a lot of cakes dropped on your front porch or wherever you live in front of your door. And hopefully it's also by people you know. We'll be back next week. Don't forget to check the site, giantbomb.com. And if you want to go giantbomb.com/chat, you'll find something fun happening over there. And I'm going to give a shout out. Thanks everybody on the West Coast for doing a hell of a job, putting in a lot of effort during these times. A lot of people had to learn a lot of stuff very, very quickly as I put my hand on my mouse to fade this to black. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
Woo! Yeah!
At
I love hearing it.
the same time.
Woo,
folks.
yeah!
The Giant Beastcast.
More!